Well, hello, everybody. Had to get some water, and now I'm back, making sure that we're all prepared. We're all ready to go. Hello. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes. Good. Excellent. Spectacular. I am audible. I could figure this hair situation out a little bit. Oh my goodness gracious. Are we ready for a Sunday stream? Okay? Okay? Luxander jump scare! Hello, Gayfesh. What's up? Hey, Dizzy. Hello. What's up, Mersh? Orange bow tie. Liked the vid, then viewing from the site for the first time. Welcome to the site chat. Hello. There's Icarus. We got Kitty TTK. Hello, Kitty. See the muscle tone? You know, what's funny about the muscle tone is that I actually feel like I don't have very much right now because I quit bulking. I didn't quit bulking, but I switched off of my bulk at the end of May, so like 6 weeks ago or something like that. And I've actually been thinking like, oh man, I feel like I'm losing my gains. Like I didn't even want to put flexing my arms as the goal for today's stream because I feel like they're shrinking. But so I'm gonna probably bubble in my throat. I'm gonna either start. This is not the right color, by the way. I'm still trying to figure out the vibes for today. I haven't figured out what it is. Orange. Where's my Streamlabs? Please let me see it. Hello. Orange. That's a color. There's this orange. It's a different orange. And then there's yellow. Okay, that's yellow. And then there's green. Green. People like green. Y'all seem to enjoy the green. I think it's mildly unsettling because of the film language implications, but yeah, that's just me. Inflation, more like shrinkflation. Both of those things. By the way, hit like, because we're going to be chilling in here for like an hour, and then we'll start talking about stuff that actually matters. I like green, fuck film language. I mean, it's unsettling, right? Like, there's a reason. It's not like just film language. It's, I mean, I guess it's like a commonality of film language for sure. And like that sort of develops and is subjective from culture to culture, the color associations. But anyway, I've decided I will do what I'm calling a forever bulk because I like food. That's fair. The thing is, here's the thing. I was supposed to be doing a bulk and then a cut. I'm probably not going to keep doing that specifically because the idea with bulking and cutting is that your body is like focusing on gaining weight and building muscle, and then you switch to focusing on like losing fat and like maintaining your muscle ideally. But so that's the situation that I was trying to switch to, but I just ended up not like restricting my food intake or increasing my exercise commensurately to like lose fat during what was supposed to be my cut. So instead, I'm going to just first of all, I've started cardio now. I've become the insane person who wakes up at like 7 to go, like to get ready in the morning and like go for a walk or a jog. I have become that person. I don't know what's happening to me, you guys. Like, I am 29 years old, and now I'm the kind of person who like, I'm like technically dieting, like not really dieting, but like watching my calories and like paying attention and trying to eat better options, you know? Hello! What's up, Guitar Rocker? Welcome in today. And like I'm gonna get one of those water jugs that like says how much you're supposed to have drank by this time every day or whatever. Like I go to the gym and I'm doing yoga every day that I don't walk, and I'm doing yoga a lot of the times on the days that I do walk. So I don't know. It's just weird. Green movie connotation as in green screen. Mark, I was talking about how like, you know, certain colors are associated with certain like vibes in movies. And, you know, like, so The Matrix, if you think about The Matrix, the first movie especially, the beginning of the movie that takes place in The Matrix is like green. You know, like everything has this like green tinge to it. It's like mildly unsettling. But yeah. What's up, Shade? Hugs and much love from hell. I mean, Ohio. Yeah, what's up? Welcome in, Jamie Jam. We're warming up, everybody. This is the beginning of stream. We're just kind of talking about whatever and getting used to being around each other again. Good morning, I'm so sleepy. Hi, everybody in YouTube chat. Hello over there. If you didn't know, YouTube chat, this thing over here, this is not Twitch. This is my website, which is a different thing. I think I might need to step away for a quick second and fix something about my my soundproofing and see if that helps a little bit today. Because I've set up something that should help with the fact that my air conditioner is super loud, because I can't turn it off, okay? It's too hot in the Kansas summer to turn my air conditioner completely off, okay? But it is really loud, so I think that I'm gonna go engage the soundproofer really quick. While I'm gone, I'm just gonna step away for a quick second. I shouldn't be gone for more than like a minute or two. Get yourself a drink, get yourself some water, get yourself a little snicky snack if you need to. I would be on the website if I wasn't on mobile. Yeah, what's up, Max? Hello. Okay. You engaged the soundproofer. Congrats, when's the wedding? Shh, listen. Okay, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I don't know if that's gonna, like, make it that much better, but I think it's gonna make it somewhat better. The fact that the air conditioner comes on. But it also means it's gonna be pretty warm in this room, so that's okay. I am headache girl today. Okay, so that was a mistake that I made. I will share with you a mistake that I made. So Friday was, like, the first day that I decided, like, okay, for real, I'm gonna wake up early enough in the morning that I can take a walk, you know, I'm gonna put, like, sunblock on my face. Or did I? No. Did I do sunblock the first day? I'm trying to figure out skincare stuff. Like, that's part of it, as I have to find clothes that are... It's called SPF when you are doing, like... hello, Agamotto, welcome in from YouTube chat. Thank you for joining us on the website. We like the website because we have our custom emojis, and because when you decide you want to donate to the stream, you can do that directly, and YouTube doesn't take 40% of your money. It's only PayPal fees. Isn't that great? How's the bread baking going? I haven't done any yet. The difficult thing about bread baking right now is that I will then want to eat the bread, and I'm trying not to gain a bunch of weight this month. You know what? I specifically started trying to gain weight earlier this year, and now I'm like, okay, I did that successfully, and now I'm gonna try to walk it back. D-Trans Lady started a Discord. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, that's great. I don't really participate in Discords very much, TBH. Otherwise, I would join. But that's awesome. I'm so glad for her. I think she's great. I mean, honestly, I should probably just try to get in touch with her and have, like, a private contact. Although I guess joining her Discord would make it easier to do that. I don't know. But I would love to reach out to her and, like, talk to her on stream and stuff. You're north of me, Lux, but 7 a.m. here is not early enough to wake up for any strenuous outdoors stuff. Honestly, Mama, like, I know I feel like a psychopath, but, like, I have thought to myself, do I want to be a 5 a.m. person? Like, just I'm, like, in the midst of, becoming a person who I do not recognize. But I don't hate it, you know? I don't hate it. Gotta drink some water. Sippy sip. Delicious. Use whole wheat flour. Yeah, generally you want to, right? I mean, there are some specific applications that you don't want to use whole wheat flour, but so specifically I have bread flour that I got from the last time I made bread. Somebody asked if I have any good recipes. for breaking bread, because I'm going to be doing that as we approach August 1st. August 1st is one of the pagan things, and it involves baking bread. Lately, I'm waking up at 3 a.m. just because. I don't do it on purpose. It just happens. That occasionally happens to me where I wake up at like 5 for no reason. Sometimes it's very occasionally it's like I have a bad dream and I don't want to go back to sleep. But sometimes it's literally just like it's 5 a.m. and I wake up and I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to do my thing. Like, I'm gonna get up and do my thing today. And then like a lot of the times that'll be on a day that like my partner would be at work or would be needing to get up for work, and he would come out and be like, why, what are you doing? And I'm like, I woke up. Like, I guess it's kind of a bummer because a lot of the time we would cuddle in the morning, but I just can't be in bed for like 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like, I just cannot be in a silence and like nothing going on for like 2.5 hours if I wake up at 5 a.m. and my partner is supposed to wake up at like 7 or 7:30. Yikes. My wake up time is set by my 2-year-old. I salute the parents out there. Y'all have a tough time. I forgot I left the sprinkler on and I flooded the yard. Oh no. Yeah, hopefully your grass recovers. That's one good thing about it being so hot, is that maybe it will evaporate. Although the thing is that hopefully it doesn't burn. Because sometimes if you water plants and you get water on their leaves while the sun is out, like the water acts like a magnifying glass and like focuses the sunlight onto the plant leaf and like burns it. So that can be bad. Raven, happy birthday. I don't know if it's your actual birthday today. You just said celebrating my birthday today, but congratulations regardless. You've made it around the sun an additional time, which is exciting. My ADHD won't allow me to sit still for that long. Exactly. Like, I can't. Apparently the water burning thing is a myth. Really? Okay. Interesting. It's one of those things that I don't remember ever actually looking it up. So I will believe you that it's a myth. Is it bad for them at all? Like, I generally try to water my plants during the day, but I also generally try to water my plants in a way that doesn't like get water all over the leaves. Because if nothing else, you're going to have like mineral buildup potentially on the leaves if you do that. Like, there's salt and other minerals in the water, depending on where you live, obviously, like how much minerals are in the water. But sometimes you'll see like if you get a droplet of water on one of your leaves, you'll see like a white crusty spot. The article I read said if your plants look thirsty during the day, give them water. Well, okay, yeah, but you can water them like at the base of the plant. Because some plants really actually suffer, like chrysanthemums, for example. If you're growing chrysanthemums, you really don't want to water them over top of the flowers or like over top of the plant because it'll get heavy and like break. I prefer my grass to be salted before I eat it, for sure. Water burning is a thing for tomatoes and some specific plants, perhaps. I could see, because tomatoes have a bunch of little tiny hairs on them, and so they could probably hold like a droplet of water suspended on its surface, which I think would more easily allow... First, but it would dry faster, but it could more easily allow for the magnifying glass effect. Anyway. This is just like a yard, so the stakes are lower. I mean, it would suck if a good part of your stream... Or sorry, if a good part of your... God, if a good part of your stream... If a good part of your yard, like, went brown, that would be a bummer. Orchids, however, you want to water with a humidifier. My orchids do okay with no specific humidity care. I sometimes run a humidifier in the room that the plants are in, but not as often as I would like. And yeah, I mean, they're fine. My orchids seem to be doing okay. I had someone in my life tell me that they were having a tricky time with their orchids, and I'm like, mine are doing great. But I think maybe one of the main differences was that theirs was outside and mine are inside, so it's just like a lot easier to control the conditions. And like, they really don't love sunlight. Like, they don't love a lot of sunlight. So, a white crusty spot. Yeah, Tubian, you called me out. True. I heard someone on Reddit was raising a sunflower and keeps turning it towards the room, and when it keeps turning towards the window, it turns toward the sun. As a result, it becomes wilted faster. Oh yeah, like the plant is expending a bunch of energy turning around all the time. Like, it's meant to face the sun. Let it do its thing. It's a fucking sunflower. Mossy and the older boys destroyed the yard last year, so the goal is regrow the grass and don't let it go brown from no water. Well, yeah, but too much water can also be bad, is all I'm saying, you know? What's up, Susan from New Zealand? Hello. Oh, that's exciting. What time is it in New Zealand? It's like 6 hours ago tomorrow, right? Is it like 5 a.m. there? 7, 8 a.m.? But it's tomorrow. So it's like 7, 8 a.m. Monday. What are you doing right now? What are you doing? Check whattimeisitnow.com. Is that a real thing? Whattimeisitnow.com was, yeah, no, it doesn't actually go anywhere. I have a sunflower that grew from some seed I was feeding the birds, so I have randomly just a sunflower that's growing in my front yard. That's beautiful. I love that. WhattimeisitRightNow.com? Yeah, this is a BoJack Horseman thing, right? Yeah, it sure is. But I also like knowing it in my head, like what the time difference is. Inside plants don't give a heck about when you water them, but outside burn spots on plants are totally a thing. I just think that generally you should respect your plants enough to, like, water them near their roots, you know? Anyway, we're on a plant tangent. Plants have so many different water requirements. I know, that's why I pay for an app that tells me when to water them, you know? We should get into growing mushrooms. They're a really tasty plant option, and you can do so much with them. I've considered getting one of those boxes, you know, my hair looks so shitty today. I've considered getting one of those boxes that has the, like oyster mushrooms or whatever, that you can, you like cut open the side of the plastic and you spray it, and then you get, but you also only get like 3 yields. I know that mushrooms are not plants, Dizzy. I know that. But they are also a thing that you can cultivate, so I think it's fair. Don't they enjoy a shower? Some specific plants do not enjoy a shower. Some specific plants do not, for sure. They are fun, but they die really quick. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's like the mycelium only has enough yield for like 2 or 3 batches, maybe. It's 5:23 Monday. Aha! I did it. Like, yeah, it's like 5 a.m. Monday. Oh my gosh. In Pokemon, all the mushroom Pokemons were grass/poison type. I saw a fantastic video today of some people talking about how they would cook and eat the first 151 Pokemons. It was great. Yikes, imagine it being Monday right now. Yes, delicious. I'm a potter and I'm working on an auto watering pot that will help people with ADHD keep plants alive longer. I can listen, I have recommendations if you want that I could post somewhere. Maybe posting my recommendations of things is a thing that I should paywall. I don't know. But like, there are several plants that I have experience with that can survive being ignored for an additional couple weeks after you should have watered them last. And like snake plants can last forever, okay? Spider plants do okay. Like the spider plant does okay. Dancing bones or bottle cactus, I think is another name for it. Dancing bones and bottle cactus. That one does really, really, really well, no matter how often you water it, TBH. And orchids do pretty okay, actually, if you don't water them. Snake and spider plants are my go-tos. Spider plants are so good. And snake plants, they both clean the air so well. Pothos, I had a pothos and I could not figure that shit out. I just could not figure out how to keep them alive. Marley, we're still in the first hour. Yeah, I started stream at noon today. It is currently 12:30. And we are going to be hanging out for like another half an hour. This is how my stream works, y'all. I just need to feel like a human being for a while sometimes. And so like that's what the first hour of stream is about. We're just going to chill and talk about whatever and enjoy our company, right? And then we will talk about this stupid shit that we need to talk about later. And then maybe toward the end we'll have another time where we're kind of just chilling. And like there's tangents. Listen, I'm ADHD. It's the whole thing. I have a pothos clipping that lives in a glass of water and has kept going for years. Nice. I could not figure out the pothos. Later ideas. And here I was all ashamed that pothos is the only thing I can keep alive. Listen, I have the recommendations. Someone asked me what a spider plant is. Let me pull it up. Spider plant. Oh my god. Mine doesn't have variegation, but I wish it did have variegation. This is what it looks like. And then they get these babies dangle down. This is how the spider plant makes more spider plants. So, yeah, it's good stuff. They're cutie pies. Did that show up on stream? Am I losing my mind? I think it did. Yes? Spider plant? Spider plant. Does whatever a spider plant. You should watch Nimona and then do a Nimona stream. Nimona? I don't know anything about what that is about. I know that Eugene from the Try Guys had something to do with it, but that is all I know. In a pot underwater. I think that my problem was that they were way too underwatered, my pothos. Nimona is a fantastic movie. Do we need my opinion on it? What do we think? Yes, exactly. It's a plant that does whatever a spider can. I heard it's gay. Yeah, I saw someone on Twitter say that they went into it prepared for gay subtext, but it was just gay text. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of nice. One of those died on me once. Snake plants are good, though. Very sturdy. Yeah, snake plants are very sturdy. Yeah, I know about Abigail Thorne and Mia Moore. Mia Moore's movie called Again Again. They have like another week or two of filming left. I'm excited. I want some news stories. This is what I want out of media. Oh my god, there is like half as many likes as there are people in here right now. Hit like on the stream, please. We're hanging out. We're enjoying ourselves. Even if you don't want to stick around and hang out, hit the like button. Let's see how many people we can get in here. I pre-like the stream. Thank you, Gay Fesh. You're a real one. There's gay kissing between two of the characters, and Nimona is heavily transcoded. Ooh. Okay, that's exciting. I'll have to check it out. It's on Netflix, right? I think I have access to a Netflix still. Nimona is total xenogender rep? Okay. Okay, now there's 69 viewers in here. Nice. We don't have 69 likes, though. 69 likes. Let's do that. Also, the credits are just progress pride flags in your fucking face. I saw somebody use they, them pronouns for the main character in Nimona, but I don't know if they're canonically non-binary. Also, if you like plays, Abigail Thorne's The Prince is on Nebula, and the cast is majority trans. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I need Nebula, but like, yeah. It's just, am I going to spend the money, and am I actually going to spend the time watching anything on it after I spend the money on it? Yeah, later, Susan. Go sleep. It's a good call. Well, let me get rid of some of these tabs. Let's see. What is Nimona about? Like, the creator worked on She-Ra. I've heard a lot of things about She-Ra, but I also never watched that one. Nimona transformed into a boy at one point in the movie. So is like a shapeshifter thing? Why do I keep not hearing about these things until, like, they are out? Nimona is non-binary but uses she pronouns. Yeah. Listen, I'm a curmudgeon. I spend all day like listening to, not so much sitting down and watching, but listening to Good Mythical Morning episodes. This is pretty much what I do. Hail hydrate. Drinking that water, y'all. Nimona is about a knight with an arm missing and a girl who can shapeshift, wreaking havoc on a stuffy walled kingdom. That sounds like fun. It sounds like a romp. A pleasant little romp. There's still like... Okay, well... That was... Well, never mind. I'll take back what I was going to say. There's heavy tones of anti-fascism and ACAB. Nice. I got accepted to UTSA on Friday. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's a university. So congratulations. That's fucking amazing. It's super hard to get into college sometimes. So congratulations on that. I have about 5 channels on Nebula that I watch because they have extended cuts that they can't post on YouTube, like Legal. I guess that's a good point. That's a good point. That could be a reason to get it. But whatever. Why is Bill Hader trending? Bill Hader. It said Bill Hader is trending, and then it's like the top tweets are all from fucking, like, more than a week ago. What are you doing? Oh, because the finale of Barry was last night. Was it the season finale or the series finale? I watched the first season of Barry, and it was so intense. It was crazy. I was planning to wait until after bottom surgery to go back to school, but it turns UTSA's student health insurance is my best shot to get it covered. That's awesome. Oh, I hadn't even considered, like, student health insurance, I guess, is an option at some point in the future. Legal, and Philosophy Tube on Nebula makes it worth it to me. True. Yeah, Philosophy Tube on Nebula. All the extra stuff that they can't post on YouTube. I could see that being good. Well, anyway, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're gonna get to go to college and that you're gonna get your bottom surgery covered. That's fucking awesome. Hell yeah, dude. I've been thinking about the surgery shit again. It's like, dude, the fucking logistics involved are just insane. But I'm probably gonna do it still. Is it Bill who is a hater or someone who hates bills? These days I could understand the latter. There are far too many anti-queer bills. True. Bill Hater. Decided I'm going to go to get bottom surgery in April, even if I got to tank my credit and go bankrupt. Fingers crossed that you don't have to go bankrupt in order to get your surgery. But that's awesome. That's less than a year away, so that's exciting. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling like the pressure of upcoming deadlines, and I don't love that feeling, but, you know, like... It's just, I'm just kind of trying to make it through one day at a time right now and, like, not worry too much about, like, there are so many days in between now and, like, my life is going to get fucking really busy in September. Like, I've said it before recently, but, like, my life is going to get very busy in September. But there are a bunch of days in between now and then. And I'm going to start doing other things and, like, drinking enough water, and like I'm the person who's like washing my face in the morning now. For some reason it took me forever to get to that place. Part of it was that it costs money. Let me just say, I've wanted to be a washing my face in the morning person for a long time, but I finally was like, okay, I think I can afford like the $12 bottle of like sensitive skin moisturizing cleanser from like Cetaphil or whatever, like one of those brands. And so now it's like a thing that I can do. And I'm lucky that I have a gym that I can, like, I'm on a membership already with it, basically, and, like, it's not a burden on me. For some reason, I'm still waiting for my second letter. The hospital team is looking into it for me. That's a bummer. It's fucking irritating when, like, the bureaucratic nonsense stopping you from getting your surgery. I hate deadlines. They make me so anxious. Yeah, listen, I'm like really stressed actually. And I'm just trying to be chill. But if I'm being real, like, wow, I am just beyond stressed right now, which is part of why I don't love doing like so many serious streams. I'm kind of like, okay, maybe we should plan like one day, 1 or 2 streams a month are like specifically stupid bullshit gaming streams or whatever. Yeah, be bankrupt, buddies. Bankrupt for your surgery, buddies. I wonder how many trans people are negatively financially impacted. Like, they get the surgery even though they can't really afford it. I mean, and then there's plenty of times where people like can't afford the good surgeon, and so they get surgery from somebody who doesn't quite know what they're doing, and then they get bad surgical results, and it's like, okay, well, that fucking sucks. That trade-off between having your money and having like your body part that you want. One fun Sunday and one fun weekday a month sounds like a good idea. Oh, okay, that's a good point. Like one, well, yeah, that'll work for a while, and then I'm dropping Sunday streams in September and October, so it'll maybe just be more, yeah, oh man, it's just gonna be so fucking rough. Sadly, I can't even afford to start medically transitioning. I guess I lucked out being androgynous and gender fluid. I can just barely deal with it. I mean, surely there are low-cost options. Like, you know, look around and see what you can find. Like, there's, good RX coupons and shit if you're in the United States. Like, yeah, I mean, I feel so bad that people have this barrier to being able to afford care. I can't mentally afford to have this thing attached to me for another goddamn second longer than necessary. Yeah, that's fair enough as well. Every time I feel the itch to do an impromptu gaming stream, I check, and then someone whose stream I want to watch is on, so I just do that instead. You know, impromptu gaming streams, maybe, or maybe not impromptu, but maybe one of those nights, like, should be, maybe one of my scheduled stream nights per month should just be like we're gonna hang out with, like, Gayfesh and Star Panda and whoever else will join for, like, some stupid games for an hour or two. Would something like a research stream be any easier than reporting on depressing news stuff? I mean, research on what? Like, what do you mean? Like, what would the research be on? Yes, Dizzy. Yes, Dizzy can do game night with us. Doodle stream. It's the psych workup that costs so much. Do you have to, you are required to have a psychiatric evaluation, Agamotto? To get any kind of care? IDK if we play any of the same games. I was thinking something like, Scribble, like Scribble.io, because it's like, there's zero barrier to entry. The point is to draw badly and have fun. Like, and it pretty much without fail is a fun party game that any people who know each other barely can play. Like, you can play it with strangers if you wanted to, but it's best if you're on, like, a video call. Researching mythology stuff is always wild to me, but that might be the autism. I mean, to be fair, yeah, I actually do a fair amount of research unrelated to stream, to be fair. I mean, I was like, what do you mean research? Because part of the research is, like... I mean, this was me on Twitter earlier, like, looking for TYT search results that have to do with... that are, like, video search results to try to find clips of... Jenk and Anna, like, saying stuff that I could talk about on stream today. So, like, this is research for me sometimes. But for off-stream, you know, I do research about, like, my health and exercise bullshit, and I do research about, like, camping and bicycling, and, like, every time I want to buy something, I do a bunch of research on it first. It's actually, like, crazy how often that is a thing that I am doing. Like, oh, well, I want to buy, like, a HEPA filter, and I would still like to buy a HEPA filter, but I felt like I needed to do more research and, like, get more different opinions And I think that Levoit is probably the good brand that I would go with if I was going to spend like $150 or $200 on a HEPA filter, which I'm going to need to do at some point because apparently, like, I'm going to be renting for a long time and, like, I'm apparently never going to fucking be able to, I'm never going to be able to, like, oh my god, my brain. Why? I took Ritalin earlier. Why is this happening to me? I read something in YouTube chat and it fucked me up completely. I was talking about researching. I do a lot of research and it's a thing that I do constantly about a lot of different stuff. Are you dropping the Europe folks in autumn then? Yes, Ariel, that's what I read that threw me off. I am not gonna do a stream. HEPA filter, yeah. Like, I don't want to spend $150, but apparently if you live in a rental, people are gonna try to send people into your apartment constantly, is what I was leading toward. Like, it's like, oh, your fucking such and such needs maintenance, or like, oh, we're gonna come in and inspect this. It's like, get the hell out of my house. It's fucking irritating. But so that's part of why I'm gonna eventually have to get a HEPA filter for my living space, because apparently, like, places feel the need to do fucking, like, quarterly pest inspections. It's like, Jesus, no, get out of my house. Anyway, but yeah, so last year, what I did during the September-October time was I switched the Sunday streams over to Friday, so it would be like a Friday evening stream for the Europeans, but I cannot do that this year. I have too much other stuff that I'm responsible for during the week. I cannot do a middle-of-the-day stream on Friday, unfortunately, but I will still be streaming twice a week. And then I'll start up again, like, probably toward the end of October. As I recall, to get the prescription, you need a doctor's go-ahead, and they then refer you to psychs, then the endo, etc., etc. The medical industry in the U.S. is just that an industry. I mean, Agamotto, you should not need to do all of that stuff. Like, look up informed consent clinics, and then the name of the city that you live in, and then there should be some place like Planned Parenthood, for example, but there are other informed consent clinics where you just go, hey, I understand all of the effects of hormones. Can you please give them to me? And they'll go, okay, let's do an initial blood test, and then if you want to have the hormones, then we will give them to you. And that's pretty much how informed consent works, and if you live in the United States, you can do that. Check with your insurance company, I guess. But yeah, you should be able to do the informed consent thing. It's not the standard anymore to have to do psychiatric evaluation before you go. And then to specifically have to be referred to an endocrinologist, you don't need to be referred to an endocrinologist. Put a passive-aggressive sign on your door with masks and baggies stapled to it saying, I'm immunocompromised, you will enter my home wearing a mask, or you will not enter my home. Dizzy, that's basically what I end up doing, is I write a little bit nicer of a note. I usually say, like, I'm medically vulnerable. Thank you for wearing these masks. But, like, I don't like to have to deal with the person in my apartment anyway. I still feel like I need to wear my mask for a while after they're gone. And I have, like, thousands of dollars of very expensive equipment, you know? Like, I don't want people in my space. It's very irritating. Informed consent clinics will also tend to be cheaper. They can be, for sure. Aaron Reed's Informed Consent HRT map. Yes, thank you, Mama Mephistopheles, for the link. The Informed Consent map, quite useful. Pointing you to the places where things are happening. Oh my god, I feel like I'm so dry today. Delicious. Water's so good for you. I will use my hospital supplies to clean your apartment. No worries. No worries. Drink the waters. Drink the waters. One of the things that I have right now in my fridge is it's a drink that has like fruit and then kale and ginger in it. And I got it because it happened to be on sale. It's not the kind of thing that I would normally go for at all, but like it's it's like not good. It's not great. I mean, like ginger, I don't love ginger, and it's like such a strong flavor. And I drink it in the morning. And it's like disgusting. It like separates a lot. But I got it not because I thought I was gonna enjoy it. I got it because I was like, oh, it has like fruit and kale and ginger in it. I bet that's really healthy. And I was like, okay, so if I just drink that, I gotta shake it vigorously and then drink it in the morning, I guess, when I'm getting ready to do my thing is usually how I've been doing it. Who is this person that I've become? CR boxes are kind of loud, but perfect for quote guests showing up. What is a CR box? Are you talking about when you get like a box fan and then you attach a bunch of filters around it? Excuse me, I like the green drinks with spirulina in them. Algae drinks. Yummy, 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 yummy. Algae drinks. And he was all... So, by the way, if anybody has any good clips, I think that I'm going to ultimately just have to comb through Benny's video again to find links to clips of, like, Anna Kasparian and or Jank saying some fucked up transphobic stuff. Because, like, I just didn't end up finding as many links as many, like, video links as I was hoping to on Twitter. So I think I'm going to end up pulling up Benny's video again. Because, like, okay, we were having a really low energy stream on Tuesday, correct? You know, like, we were having a pretty low energy stream on Tuesday. And we ended up responding to Benny's video. Benny Carollo? We could not figure out the pronunciation. But anyway, Benny posted a video about how she was leaving the Young Turks and, like, why, and, like, you know, what's up with Anna's transphobia. So we responded to that in a quite low energy fashion. I mean, I guess I started to pick it up toward the end, but I wanted to do an actual segment maybe today. I got onto Blue Sky recently and I followed Benny. That girl posts so many thirst traps. Yeah. I also saw that Benny recently did a panel and Soul Bunny was on it. And I was like, ooh, does she just not know, like, about Soul Bunny being super fucking racist toward Shark recently? But, like, Lance was on there as well. Like, Surfs TV, Lance has been doing this thing as well recently where he is, like, sort of supportive towards Benny hates Vosh and Keffels and is a tanky. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that I want to know anything about Benny, per se. But, like, but just being on there with Soul Bunny and Lance, I was like, weird. Benny is a tanky. I would not trust her politics outside of trans issues, which she is correct on. Fair enough. Soul Bunny. No, you're thinking of someone. She was formerly called Bad Bunny, and now she's called Kira Chats. That's who you're thinking of, Icarus. I keep seeing this weird divide between streamers and video essayists. Are we going to talk about streamers and versus video essayists today? Is that what we're doing? Because I don't know that I've really talked about it very much. Have I ever really talked about the difference and, like, the conflict between streamers and video essayists? I don't really get where it comes from, TBH. Like, I and maybe this is just my prerogative, my perspective. It feels to me like the streamers don't really have a problem with the video essayists. It kind of feels to me like video essayists are constantly starting beef about streamers. And it's like, hey man, what's your fucking aggro? Like, can you chill? Like, that's to me how it always feels. And I'm not really involved most of the time. Oh, wait, no, I am. I have a video essayist who I live rent-free in their head and who continues to this day to make video essays about me, like, with me in them, like, with segments about me. So I do have that, but I don't care about them. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm glad that you made some money this month. Yeah. That's okay, I feel sometimes I gotta do something. This is a joke. I'm joking. I want to preempt this by saying it's a joke. I occasionally feel like I should do something provocative and, like, say, like, drop a controversial opinion once in a while to, like, make sure that people like Essence of Thought can make money every once in a while, you know? Like, you gotta feed them a little bit. Like, I'm glad that you're putting money on the table. Like, you've got money and you're putting food on the table based on, like, my whatever, like, you want to say about something that I did, like, 2 years ago in, like, a live chat encouraging someone to clarify their thoughts. Literally, like, only a couple months ago, there was yet another mention of me on their channel. Yeah. So I, like, it is do easily clippable things. I have easily clippable things all the time. I just don't have a lot of haters. I could have a lot of haters. Oh, I forget constantly that I live rent-free in people's heads. I'm like, I don't really think about people thinking about me, you know? They nitpick what streamers say spontaneously, which is crazy because their videos give them time to write a script. It's crazy because I like so many on both sides of that divide. The whole thing feels really unproductive. Also, there definitely seems to be a racial line that is very uncomfy to me. I don't really think of it that way, I guess, because when I'm thinking of this kind of conflict, I'm thinking about, like, I mean, it's like people have an issue with Vosh and like the video essayists, like Philosophy Tube and ContraPoints have both taken an issue with Vosh, and like, I guess I don't just know very many POC creators who have taken sides on these things. Sorry, if you as a trans person make your bread with the blood of other trans people, you're garbage and should get out. Yeah, I mean, it's not, like, bothering me, though. There isn't a racial line. There's lots of race reductionist beliefs that lead to transphobia and transmisogyny in the name of anti-racism. I feel like that's, like, such a complex subject that I don't know how to... I feel like Black trans people are the best people to, like, address the intersection between transphobia and racism. Just because, like, I literally just don't understand it in the same way. But the racial line really seems to be a specific group of Black essayists who claim that they are speaking for the entire Black community, despite a lot of Black creators disagreeing with them. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, like, I guess seeing some people rally around each other as well. Like, it seemed to me pretty unacceptable how Soul Bunny was talking about Shark. But then, you know, people like Jesse Gender and now, like, Benny and, like, Lance expressing, like, at least, like, not objecting to her presence, if not expressing outright support in the way that Jesse did. And it's, like, just weird to me. But to me, that's also, like, a fairly recent aspect of the streamers versus video essayist thing. Like, that's been going on for a long time. It's been going on for a very long time. Like, a couple years now, where people bitch back and forth. But again, it seems to me mostly to be that, like, streamers are just sort of doing our things, and we will, like, comment on video essayists' work, which I guess could be perceived as, like, starting beef, because the nature of our job is to do reaction stuff at times. I don't know. The left has never recovered from the Vosh versus Professor Flowers debate. What were people so upset about that about? I mean, like, I listened to it, and, like, I was working, and I listened to it, and I thought that it was, the guns are just, like, out today. I mean, I'm not, like, showing them off. I just exist as a human being, and I don't like wearing sleeves. But no, like, I really didn't think that Professor Flowers even made, like, a solid argument, or, like, she kept deferring in weird way and, like, dodging questions in weird ways. Like, it was impossible to have an actual conversation. Or wait. Am I thinking of Vosh versus Professor Flowers, or am I thinking about... I might be thinking about, because I also listened to Heem and Professor Flowers speak. That debate was so cursed. It's been years, y'all. Someone else who's posted good videos on the subject who has also left TYT is Sandy Lavas with Left of the Box. Okay. I don't want to react to other people's content right, like today. I think I want to do more of a like reacting to the actual TYT stuff. So, Benny. I want, like, so I'm gonna probably end up having to comb through Benny's video to find, because I don't want to just react. I really don't want to spend any of the segment, if I'm doing a proper segment today, responding to Benny's entire video. But she has some good clips in here of Jank and Anna saying things that were uncool or whatever. So I thought we could peruse through that, maybe. Depends. I feel like streamers are to critiques as video essayists are to film directors. I mean, I guess that's fair. Like, streamers are more like commentators. Rather than like, I don't think that we engage in as much of a creative process. Like, there's a research process, but I don't know if the research process could be considered like a creative process. It sort of depends on like how entertaining you're being, how much you focus on the entertainment part of your job as a streamer. Delicious. We're concerned about white queer racism has become a cover for attacking trans women who don't agree with you. I've definitely seen some weird shit that people do toward trans women. And I just think that if you have a criticism of a trans woman, okay, here's my official opinion. If you have a criticism of a trans woman, or any woman, but especially a trans woman, and especially a black trans woman, like, especially multiply marginalized trans women, like disabled trans women, like, I would say check that impulse. Like, be extra skeptical when you feel like you're pissed off at a woman. Be extra skeptical of that feeling and maybe give yourself additional pause, because I guarantee that on some subconscious level, you are reacting toward women in a different way than you react toward men. And it's not like you even mean to. You don't even notice it most of the time, but you probably do. So, like, be extra chill when you have those disagreements. And the same is true of black folks. Like, and it's especially important because sometimes people in those marginalized positions are justifiably upset. And so, like, they need to be able to talk about their stuff. And we need to be able to, like, hear it and tolerate it and process it. Because nothing is going to change if you reflexively, like, stop listening to people because you don't like what they're saying, you know? So be thoughtful, but also, like, don't be uncritical. I'm not going to say just listen to people and like, repeat what they say without critically examining it. Like, that's not my official position, to be clear. I do happen to follow a lot of black trans women in this space, and they don't like the anti-Keffels shit, but people conveniently pretend they don't exist and that people aren't regularly shitty to them and have accused them of race faking or flat out called them white. I've just seen really crazy behavior from a lot of different people online, TBH. And it's, like, hard to even tell. Are these real people? When you're seeing drama on Twitter, are you even sure that these are real people? Or could they very easily just be, like, goons with sock puppet accounts, you know, drumming up drama for the sake of having fun and, like, subverting unit cohesion? Hello, Violet. Yes, it's time for dicks. I don't have my dick on the, I don't have my dick out today on my desk. It's tucked away in a drawer because I had company recently. I have this, which is it's got a mushroom head on it, but it could be rounder, definitely. It could be rounder and then be more of a penis. So this is the closest I can do. But I'm not gonna smack it around like I do with the actual penis packer that I made. I need to make a new one that has, like, better, more skin-like colors and also maybe is smaller. Cute little mushroom friend. I know. Isn't it so cute? What if I raffled it off? You know? What if there was, like, a day that I raffled it off? Or just, like, fucking... I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do this is. I feel like raffle is the best way, like once a month or something. Oh, maybe on, maybe on Patreon. Ooh, what? Okay, so for a long time, I've been saving the $5 a month. I've been saving the $5 a month tier for like, oh, someday I'll have merch, and the $5 a month tier will be my, it'll be like merch, like 20% off or something like that. $5 a month on Patreon will give you money off the merch. But I am realistically like, it's been years and I'm not going to be able to do that. Like, I don't think I'm going to do merch because it's so hard to do in a way that feels ethical. So I think instead, maybe I'll just do like, okay, $5 a month on Patreon enters you into a raffle for like one random thing that I've crocheted in the past month. Like, that could be worth it. I don't know. What do people think of that? Like, $5 a month enters you into a raffle. Etsy or eBay. Etsy and eBay both charge you a lot of fees and also subject your, they subject your listings to algorithmic influences, which I really just think is super shitty. And also on Etsy, I don't know about eBay, probably both of them, but on Etsy, have you noticed that sometimes when you go to Etsy looking for something, you'll find the same product that you found on Amazon, like Amazon.com? Maybe you're looking for some, like, I don't know, you want like a bodice thing that you can wear at the Renaissance Festival, but you don't want a real corset, and you don't want to pay the higher prices that you pay when you get the same type of product at the Renaissance Festival. So you go on Amazon, and you're like, oh, okay, well, like, I'm not loving these options. And then you go to Etsy, and you're like, oh, I wonder if there's any, like, maybe handmade options on Etsy that might be better. And there are some handmade things, and they're crazy expensive, of course. And then there's a lot of, like, corporate postings that are, like, sponsored postings, very clearly. And it's just fucking, it's like, I feel like there should have been rules against that. Like, that you have to, in order to list stuff on there, like, your business has to be smaller than 20 employees or something, you know? Like, yeah, and items, and, like, there's no rules about, like, lying. If an item is listed as handmade, even if it's mass-produced, like, what is your one spam report gonna do? So many of the things people say are handmade on Etsy are just drop ships of products from China. Which they may very well be handmade, but handmade by slave laborers, so the entire e-commerce industry is full of BS. So basically, I would just have to output, like, one item, something like this, one or so of these per month. That's a great idea. Oh my god, you guys, that's a great idea. Etsy's gone to shit, same as every other site. Yeah, I know. Overwhelmed by mass-produced garbage. So you're competing as a creator on Etsy against those things. Which is why I've been considering, like, should I make a website where I sell these things? But then that is gonna complicate my tax situation. Also, like, because sales tax and shit like that, like, not only would I have to be saving up some of my money this year to pay my income taxes for next year, but I would also have to do sales tax for sales. But I think that raffle items would not be the same. Maybe knitting stream then? You wanted chill stream ideas? Here's the difficulty with doing that. I don't have any yarn. Do I have a yarn? I have a yarn. Okay, here's the difficulty with doing a crochet stream. I don't knit, just to be clear. I crochet because I can't knit. I don't know how to do it. Crochet requires these little hooks. Can you focus? Excuse me. Yeah, little hooks. And so here's the problem with me trying to show this. Okay, so this is not the right size of hook, first of all. That's definitely a problem. Okay, here's this one's better. Become a pro golfer? A pro golfer? Are people really into a crochet stream? It's hard for me to show myself doing a crochet. Wow, why am I having such a hard time with this slip knot? This seems like it shouldn't be so difficult. It's a very slippery yarn. Why? And also probably not the right size of hook still, but that's okay. So now that I have my fucking slip knot ready, like, this is what it looks like when I crochet. So it's off camera, right? Like, or I'm gonna have to hold it up here, or I'm gonna have to figure out another camera situation in order to show what I'm actually doing. Why am I starting with a chain of all things? I don't know. I don't really start a lot of stuff with chains nowadays. So it's like, yeah, is this what you want? Is this what you want? Is for me to do crochet like this? Like, this is... This, I don't know if this is what you want from me. And it's gonna always, like, slip out of frame, because I'm thinking more about the crochet than about being on camera. Like... I would enjoy a lifting stream. I mean, yeah, I agree, but like, how? This is my office. Like, I don't have, behind me on the floor is like a 50-pound beanbag thing, and I don't know how I would do like working out in here. I could take my phone with me. Listen, I could take my phone with me for like a 30-minute yoga stream, potentially. Maybe. But, like, I don't know how else. We the people want golf content. You'd have to have a camera pointed at your desk or hands. I mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Because, like, also, you can see that I have something in my hands, but I doubt that you can really see what is happening. So I'm gonna have to get, like, a GoPro and attach a camera to my forehead so that I can show you what I'm working on. This is the difficulty. When you say you want something... You have to understand that there's so much logistics that goes into it. Someone was joking to me recently about, like, oh, I'll just sell feet pics and it's no big deal. And I kind of wanted to be like, so tell me, what do you know about, like, lighting and photography? How about, what do you know about, like, skincare and nail care so that your feet don't look gross? Like, tell me what you know about marketing online. Tell me what you know about advertising. Tell me what you know about social media management. Like, people don't understand all the logistics that go into things, you know? Excuse me. There are rubber bands you can use, or kettlebell resistance bands, that is. Yeah, I know. I don't have any resistance bands. Although I suppose I could get that kind of thing. It's just not the kind of exercise that I generally do. Yeah, I don't know. I have like two different regiments of exercise that I do. One is bulking at the gym, and I don't use resistance bands because I'm using like the equipment at the gym. Or I'm doing calisthenics, and none of the calisthenics that I do use resistance bands. All of capitalism is 20% the stuff you actually want to do and 80% trying to function in a capitalist system. It's horrible. I'm gonna have to get up and get more water before I start on any actual segments today because my voice is fried. But hey, there's like 80 people in here, which is awesome. So if you hit like on the stream, that would be awesome because it usually brings a bunch of people in here immediately. And that's good for the stream because we want this show to grow. If I want to get to a point where my streams just regularly, casually have like 100 people in them. That's been my like goal for the summer. So if we could get to that point by like September, I would consider that a goal accomplished. Sometimes we do get to the 100 viewers. Very occasionally we do. Usually it's if the title of the stream is something really banging. I think last week when we did the Twitter is dead, we're finally free. That one casually just had like 100 views, which was great. Unironically, I need to get into something like sit and be fit, dizzy and standing go together really poorly. But yeah, there's plenty of reclined exercises that you can do. I think one of the, for POTS, for postural orthostatic stuff, they recommend recumbent bike, for example. Yeah, just like, so there are exercises that you can do like on the floor as well. And that's like a specific program that has probably been developed somewhere. For real, I've been posting nudes nearly every day for almost 6 months, and I rarely crack $100 a month on OnlyFans. I'm in the top 30% of creators too, so think about how many folks are doing even worse than me. Yeah, truly. Like, I feel like that about being a YouTuber. I don't know what percentage of the top earners I'm in on YouTube, because I don't think that those are aggregated statistics that YouTube releases. But I don't know how I am, but like I'm sitting here casually with like 80 some odd people hanging out, and I'm a trans streamer, and plenty of trans streamers only have like 10 people, and that's like on a good day. So clearly I'm doing pretty well. Google image, do a reverse Google image search for a product that you're trying to buy online to triple check if it's a drop ship. That's a good point. Opses, thank you so much for the $20 dono. Thank you so much. Whenever I see you are live, I'm very happy to know you're doing your thing, even if I don't tune in. Thank you for being rad. Seriously, thank you. I appreciate that. We love the lurkers. We love the people who support from afar, even if you cannot attend the stream. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Excuse me, I'm burping. Oh, that burp tasted like ginger! Because I drank a ginger drink earlier. I drank a ginger drink. I drank a vodka drink. I drank a not alcohol because it fucks up your muscle growth drink. I'm adding doodles on my Vampire the Masquerade character sheet. Any suggestions, people? Well, clearly, okay, Vampire the Masquerade, I don't know anything about specifically, but I can say for vampires specifically, you clearly got to do some bats. You could do some spiders. You could do, like, spider webs, clearly. I've considered trying to get into really niche furry / fetish art and erotica because I have the skill, but I don't have the energy to run a Patreon. Frankly, I don't really do very much with my Patreon, which is part of why it's like, oh, I should incentivize people to go there. I post like one vlog a month or so for $3 patrons. I have my credits and my voice credits. And the reason, I remembered finally, the reason why, wow, flying gnats in my face. The reason why my Patreon is set up to where it doesn't charge you until the first of the month after you sign up is because I refuse to change my credits midway through the month. Like if someone pays me $10 on July 15th, I am not going to re-record my audio credits or redo my text credits at the end of the stream. I am not going to change that. I do that once a month. It's a pain in the ass to do. Not the recording is not so much, but like redoing the fucking end credits with Adobe After Effects. It's a pain in my ass and I hate doing it, and I've streamlined it as much as possible. So that's why my Patreon is set up the way that it is. Literally every time I look up products that I'm trying to buy, it's a dropship from AliExpress for a fraction of the money. At this point, I just assume every product is a dropship. Oh my god. Fair enough, I suppose. My Patreon is there for people to give me money. I do credits and that's it. Yeah, I sometimes I think maybe, you know, this fucking lifestyle posting, maybe I should do this stuff on Patreon because that's people who maybe are going to be less annoyed to see like the random updates and things. How do you look up whether it's being sold somewhere else? Ty Marini, I think what people are talking about is like if you see a product, like, I don't know, let's go to Etsy. Can I do that? Let's go here. I need water soon. I think that means I need salt too. If I'm so thirsty already. Writing commissions are so much work. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work. Let's see. Oh, that's cute. Oh, is that? Dang. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm looking at other stuff. So, like, let's look at, like, this thing. This is a daisy candle holder. It says handmade ceramic flower candle holder. So let's do a search image with Google. All right, hold on. Let me make sure that nothing crazy pops up. Google Lens. So it looks like there are other products available, but I mean, like the one Amazon result doesn't look quite the same. Lots of Etsy results back. So you do like a reverse Google image search, basically. Oh, yeah, there's the one from AliExpress it looks different. So maybe this one actually is handmade. I don't know. You also can check the vendor page. Like mini pot, handmade pottery from Montreal, Canada. And like you can check these and like see if there's any like an about page or something that makes this seem like an actual human being and not like just a corporate machine. Hey, Joey, welcome to the chat. Just discovered your channel last week. Enjoy your videos a ton. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate y'all coming in and saying hello and lurking and hitting like. And just so y'all know, if you're hanging out over on the YouTube page right now, first of all, hit like. And second of all, this over here, this chat, this is not Twitch. This is my website where we have custom emojis and fun colors. Do we like the colors? I was thinking about maybe changing them, but then again, I don't know. The green is just maybe going to be the color that I stick with. Green and black. Kink on commission sounds exhausting because you have to do it to the client's taste, not your own. Yeah, that's the thing, is are you going to just make kinky art and then sell that? Or are you going to do stuff on commission? You know? That's the ultimate question. Usually it's a scene that's the client choice, but in your own style, so somewhat to your taste still. Although, of course, if you really need money, you are incentivized to cross your own boundaries a bit. Yeah. Some people steal designs from Etsy, too. I've seen that. You know, I got really annoyed because I had a shirt that I made for crochet, and then I had one person who really liked it, and she provided me some yarn, and she asked me to go ahead and make it for her, and she would pay me for my time. And I started making it, and then the lady took the pattern down, and it was a YouTube video, so I don't think first of all, I don't know where the link is anymore, but I don't know that I could go to archive.com and get it. So she took down the thing because some corporation like had like stolen her pictures and was like allegedly selling that product. And I was like, okay, it makes sense to me why you would take the video down. It's annoying to me because I was trying to make one, but it's fine. I think it was the wrong size yarn anyway. I was pleased to learn recently that Chumbawamba are anarchists. That's not surprising. Also, drawing porn is sex work. People don't consider it sex work to write or draw kinky erotica, but it totally is. I'd never really thought of it that way, but at least the way that companies treat it, it is. So does that mean that you couldn't get paid through PayPal? Like, would you be, like, not allowed to take payment for erotic drawings on PayPal? And Patreon also is weird about porn. Like explicit porn. Oh my god, anyway. I need to get myself some water. So I'm gonna run and get some water. Just don't tell them what you're doing. Just keep it a secret. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Anyway, so I am gonna run to the bathroom and get a drink of water. So you should get a snack also if you don't have one. Get yourself a little something to eat. Get yourself something to drink. Take a little break. Hit like if you haven't already. And then I guess when I get back, we'll start talking about the Young Turks stuff. Like, I don't know, like, why not? Might as well. We've covered Anna before. We've talked about her for previous occasions, so...
Escalate over the past...
Shush, Benny. Love you, but shush. Oh, God. The arc that she's on is so disappointing. So disappointing. Okay, but I'll be right back. Be good. Be good. Okay, I'm back and I have some lemon water now. Some lemon water. Because I think that that'll help me not get thirsty again. Maybe. This is one of my favorite videos of seals. Favorite videos of seals? Okay, well, we have to watch this. And then we'll continue with news and other stupid important stuff and, like, segments. I'm almost caught up on fucking editing, so now I gotta make more segments so that I can edit more. It's a process, okay? It's a whole process. I don't actually know if I want to wear these today, but... It's like, I actually... these... I feel like big glasses like this strike me as very femme. So, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I gotta get 2 pairs of glasses. One of them for boy mode. You joke, but just not indicating what money is being exchanged for is a big way that sex workers manage to use vanilla payment apps. Oh, I mean, I assumed. That's what makes sense to me. I know I'm a nerd. But listen, nerds are sexy, okay? The librarian is in. I do feel like I immediately... I could, like, put on a different shirt and, like, literally just be a librarian. I don't want to be rude, but I don't feel like those glasses suit you, or maybe that just means I don't like them too much. I like these. I mean, I think I look very librarian. If I put on, like, a shirt with a vest or something, I could very much pull it off. I like the idea of just dressing as a completely different person, like, just becoming a completely different person. Yeah, these are just kind of dirty right now. I need some, actually, like, glasses cleaners. I don't have any because these are just for blue light filtering. So I don't actually have any of the stuff that you need to keep glasses working correctly. These are giving Clark Kent, so I don't find them particularly femme. I don't know, it feels... I guess it only feels femme from this angle. And then I turn this way and I'm like, wow, my nose is really off-center. It's like... There's a reason why I stream from a particular angle, okay? I don't love that my nose slants so hard, but whatever. Do you wear contact? No, these are not real glasses. These are, blue light filtering glasses, okay? I'm currently watching the lightning and wishing I was a librarian who is secretly capable of summoning extreme weather. True. Okay, look at this video of a seal. Look at it. It's taking a nap. It's a seal taking a nap in the ocean, in the waves. Oh my god. Look at that. That's absurd. That's obscene. I can't believe how adorable that is. He's sleeping. No one is perfectly symmetrical. I know that no one's perfectly symmetrical, but I'm pretty it's pretty noticeable. Like, one side of my face is much wider than the other, like, much broader than the other, because of... And it's like, I mean, it's pretty significant, you know? But, whatever. I can't afford to get it fixed, so... What's up? What's up, John Doe? Hey, comrades. Welcome in. Oh, to be taking a nap underwater, floating around. I know. It sounds amazing. For sure, one of the animals of all time. One of my favorite videos is, like, an Arctic seal going like... Miff, miff, leg. It's pretty funny. Anyway, oh my god, we're losing people. Because we can't buckle down. I keep getting on tangents. I keep promising that we're going to talk about stuff that matters and then just not doing it. Leg. Miff. Yeah, you guys remember. Oh god, let's be serious, okay? Let's be serious. Do the glasses actually help? I don't know. I mostly got them because I wanted to have a thing that I could wear in public that would be a shield for my eyeballs when I have to walk through people's COVID miasma behind them. But without it being obvious that I'm basically wearing personal protective equipment. So I mostly just got them because they were $5 at Walmart. But I wear them at home sometimes because they're cute. The only thing gives me pause about Anna is that maybe she's double opping it, like it's undercover, showing how easy it is. I don't know, maybe wishful thinking. I think it's wishful thinking, unfortunately. I'm debating ordering more groceries despite having some stuff I could cook if I had the energy. I mean, if you're ordering more groceries, then at least you're not eating fast food. I feel like that's relevant. Anyway. Leg and fish, yeah. It's just so sad I'm trying to come up with reasons. I understand. I understand. We've been talking about Anna Kasparian on and off for a while, right? We first started talking about her a few months back when she said something about wanting to be called a woman and not a birthing person. You know, we have videos on the channel, like a couple videos on the channel, I think, discussing this arc that she's been on, this trajectory that she's been on. And it's pretty clear that, you know, despite what she may think and despite what she may wish, she's like in the TERF pipeline. She is on her way to becoming a TERF and just being like, yeah, trans women are, like, she's like one of those liberals or centrists or whatever you want to call them that's like, I affirm that trans women are women, but they're also like complaining a lot about trans women in sports. Jank especially is complaining about trans women in sports on their show, and now they're coming out against like puberty blockers and other gender affirming care for minors, which is kind of the point of no return. You know, if you can't listen to trans people who used to be kids and who can tell you, then like you're seriously very far gone. But like, you know, I'm saying all that, and part of what I wanted to do in this little seggy-seg, since this is the little seggy-seg that we're doing, is, you know, actually look at some of the things that they have said recently. That's like what is sparking all of this discussion about them being potentially transphobic, you know? She's honestly just one tweet away from doing the quote, "I'd march with you if you were being oppressed," JK tweet. Speculation that she doesn't really believe that trans women are women. I think she just wants to be, quote, progressive, but hasn't put in the work on her own perceptions. I mean, it does sort of ring that same bell in my mind as J.K. Rowling, and how she was just like, I think of myself as progressive, and I want to be, like, verbally progressive and, like, say that I'm affirming initially. And she would go, yeah, like, I think, like, trans people, you know, if you were discriminated against, I would march with you. And now she's full on, like, participating in, advocating for, and probably paying a lot of money for our discrimination in the UK government. Like, you can't tell me that she's not supporting candidates with her money who then get into office and, like, get promoted up to prime minister, and then they make fun of trans women, you know, and, like, the video gets leaked. I have no evidence for this. This is purely conjecture, but I wonder if this all started not just because of the birthing person stuff, but because someone tried to clock her. Someone transvestigated Anna Kasparian and it made her spiral. Anyway. So let's try to find some of these videos and such to kind of go over what's been said recently. Pulling up this stuff on my profile. Twitter. Anna has always been a liberal. I thought she was moving more left when she joined Jacobin, but I was wrong. Yeah, it's always sad when people that you care about and, like, look up to... I mean, like, listen, I remember her scathing abortion thing, like, a few years ago, and, like, her war on Christmas, comments a few years ago. It's just, you know, great. Amazing. She only cares about her oppression as a female. Like, she is, like, a single issue person when it comes to what she has a problem with. Because here's the other thing. She also, like, there was a video recently of her really seriously complaining about Hassan. It's one of the videos that's been going around, and I'm not going to play that one, I don't think, but she recently went off about how, you know, the New Yorker or whatever, like the New York Times or whatever, is not going to write an article about her. And you can just see that's like, it's like seething resentment about misogyny, and that's fair. Like, that's fair enough. But it's like, that's the like beginning and end of Anna Kasparian's thought process about oppression. Is like, she cares about her oppression as a female and does not care about other types of oppression. And she's also white passing, so she probably doesn't really need to care that much about racial issues. She's the kind of person who would pay lip service and say, of course, I think that black people don't deserve to get shot by the police, but and then like anything that happens after the but would be bad. But like specifically, she seems like the kind of person who would like condemn violence and like, oh, you have to only be peaceful protests. Like, it's very, very liberal. She has processed her feelings about misogyny healthily and takes it out on others as a result. She's done such a healthy job of working through her feelings about misogyny. Oh my god, my ear is itchy. Why is my ear so itchy? Ah. Typos. She really hasn't done the work to truly understand the experiences of trans people. Yeah, that's the thing that's so frustrating about this, is a few months ago when she was complaining about birthing person and saying, I don't want to be called this, and like, I don't want to rehash the whole thing, but to be clear, the reason why we would use the term birthing person, it's not like you say, oh, as an individual, you coming into the hospital, oh, this is a birthing parent. Let's get this birthing parent set up in their room, and like they're refusing to call you a woman or acknowledge your pronouns or something. No, it's a matter of public policy. If you say like birthing people need access to postpartum care, that's like an objectively literal thing, and it's not limited to womanhood. Whatever, TLDR. I don't want to go into a whole thing because I've made videos extensively about it, but people explained this to her. Riverboat Jack, who's a streamer that we've done work with before, she's great, I like her a lot. She is the one who explained, you know, this is why it's important. You know, transgender men sometimes die because they are rejected for being able to have like not gender affirming care. Sometimes they're rejected from reproductive care. I explained this to her too. Well, the thing is, Dizzy, that she responded to Riverboat Jack. Like, it's not just like I explained it to her too, but she got a response. Like, Riverboat Jack said, here's the reason why it's important. And Anna was like, thank you so much for calmly explaining this issue to me. And then she just turned around and immediately went back to it. So I haven't covered Anna. I think that there actually has been, she kind of did even more of a little bit of bitching about birthing person. And like, I could have covered it and done a video like more recently, but I didn't, because it's like, okay, well, that's the type of person that she is now. But I guess, you know, you don't expect, but you should expect that they are always going to continue to escalate. So I don't even know what this video is. Well, first of all, she praised Jesse Singal. And Jesse Singal, so she said, he's not a transphobe at all. They just want to suppress anything that questions the safety of puberty blockers / cross-sex hormones for minors. It's pretty disgusting, to say the least, and I'm glad that their efforts to destroy his career hasn't worked. Jesse Singal, who, among other things, like, has worked with people who support conversion therapy. Like, I don't know a lot about Jesse Singal, but I do know that he is not, like, a trans ally. Birthing person just sounds like an insult. Well, we're not calling individual people a birthing person. We're saying, as a matter of public policy, birthing people, or, like, people who menstruate, need access to pads and tampons. Like, okay, so if you say women need access to those things, like, as a matter of public policy, you're leaving people out, you know? Honestly, I think she became anti-trans behind the scenes. Watching Single and the birthing person thing was the first. Yeah, like, this is, like, she only just recently came out about this. Jesse Singal did the whistleblower story a while back where all the other parents and trans kids said the story was bullshit. Oh, sure. Oh, so Jesse Singal, when the secretary at the gender clinic, when she leaked a bunch of information violating HIPAA by telling someone about the private information of minors, like the private medical information of minors, Jesse Singal was the one who, like, wrote the story and popularized it. Like, congratulations. So yeah, Jesse Singal, it doesn't really matter whether someone is a transphobe in their heart, like whether they hate trans people in their heart. That is a violently transphobic thing to do. Like exposing all of these children to potential like risk, like having their private data made public and like boosting a woman who was willing to violate the privacy of children. Yeah, and not even to mention that it's not just women who need access to care. Even if you're just talking about cis people, you know, little girls also need access to like menstrual care and stuff like that. That's also true. I think that most people are not really thinking about that. I hate calling a little girl who was raped and needs an abortion a mother. Yeah, that's horrendous. So supporting Jesse Singal, not great. Questioning puberty blockers, also not the best. Not our favorite. What's this video? Let's find out.
It's bad.
Stop. I need it to go through a different headphones. Go through a different headphones. Also, how loud is she in the Streamlabs?
Faith. They know.
Oh,
they
God,
know.
She's really loud. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's try that again. So let's see. I don't know what this link is. President Sunday retweeted it, so I'm gonna watch it now.
It's bad faith. They know. They know there's a difference between gender and sex. They know that it is very possible for someone to be born a biological male or a biological female, but in terms of gender, identify differently as a male or non-binary, but they still have the biological capacity, the physical capacity to get pregnant. So that's why the language, the rhetoric is inclusive to include those people. It is not a big deal, but they make it a big deal. They manufacture.
Oh, so this is her justifying calling everybody who can get pregnant women. She's like, I promise that I mean to be inclusive toward trans men when I say women. Like, okay, that's fucking the exact problem. And like, honestly, yeah, she's making this a big deal. That's the other thing about it that gets really confusing is people want to bitch and complain about, oh, trans people are making such a big deal about this. That's another thing that popped up. I might have to pull this up in this video from Benny. It's another thing that Jenk brought up, like that I find really intolerable, frankly. Anna just then was accusing trans men and non-binary people of making such a big deal about, you know, being called women. Like, oh my God, it's not a big deal. Like, it is a big deal. Robert Eads died because as a trans man, he was denied care for ovarian cancer. This is like something that can kill people when you're denied access to care. It's not about not enjoying being called something because it's not about the like individual environments. Although to be clear, most trans men who go through the process of like giving birth are aggressively misgendered, whether like even when they, maybe even especially when they try to be open about them being transgender men, you know, so like it is emotionally harmful to you while you're giving birth to be in that situation. And the way that we stop that from happening is if on a public health policy basis, we create information available that like this applies to a lot of different people. Plenty of different folks are going to need this type of care. So maybe don't, and like, yeah, so maybe don't aggressively call every trans man and 12-year-old girl who was raped, like as she comes into the hospital, like, oh, you're a first-time mommy. Oh, isn't that so sweet? Like sometimes people don't want to fucking hear that, and maybe have a little bit of respect for the fact that, you know, just the category of woman is not all encompassing. She's literally making the argument that if I say woman, okay, that's all encompassing to include a bunch of people who violently don't appreciate being called that, okay? But I don't want to be called a birthing person, despite the fact that that is a broad umbrella term that describes all of the factual information that is required. If you were a cisgender woman and you were infertile, then you would not be a birthing person. Or I mean, you really are only a birthing person when you become pregnant. So probably at no point in her life is Anna going to qualify as a birthing person. She does not seem like the type of woman who has kids. I'm just assuming that. The reproductively capable, true. That clip was her like 2 years ago pushing back against Republicans feigning ignorance about why inclusive language is needed. People brought it up because it's obvious how she's grifting now because she knows better. Oh, this clip is from like 2 years ago. Oh, okay, so she is making the argument in this video. Okay, I should have watched it before. All right, there's no context on this for when it was from, so I would have no idea. She even pitched a bitch fit about people with uteruses. Like, what the fuck can we even say at this point? Yeah, like I don't even know what you say at this point. So she's making the opposite argument that she used to make. She used to be able to point out the exact reason why inclusive language matters. I mean, she's either grifting or she's dumb. Like, I don't know, she doesn't understand. But yeah, she is like now got a Fox News article written about her. Progressive journalist breaks with left, warns puberty blockers can cause, quote, irreparable harm to children. Like, why does she need to be the expert? Oh my God, please stop. I don't want to allow ads. Can you please shut the fuck up? Is the video coming back up? Will you please stop? Okay, I'm just gonna mute it. Okay, you're muted? Okay, now you're paused. Thank you. Anna's too smart to be dumb on accident. Like, is she grifting? She was either lying before or she's lying now. I don't know. I mean, COVID does destroy people's brains. Like, let's not forget. Like, please, let's not forget that COVID does destroy people's brains. So she might just be an idiot now. Oh my God. Why? Shut the fuck up. Why did you load a totally different screen? Dude, foxnews.com is fucking stupid. It just loaded a completely different article as though I clicked something and I didn't click anything. Shut the fuck up. I was like gonna read your article, dude. Stop talking to me. COVID ruined humanity, TBH. I mean, it's not done yet. But yeah, you've now got a Fox News article about, like, why is Anna the expert? What do you mean, like, a journalist warns about a medical issue as though she's an expert? Like, she's not a researcher. She's like a layperson, effectively, when it comes to this medical stuff. But she's now being lauded by Fox News and other folks, and like people are sharing this article going like, look at this, even this leftist is against puberty blockers for kids. Like, this idiot doesn't know anything about this subject. Like, imagine being like a blonde woman whose job it is to talk about the news, and like, frankly, one of the things that Anna is really good at doing is talking shit about other women. Like, this is like her job is to talk shit about other women.
And how does she decide is a good way to make up for that, Anna?
Sorry, she flashes more coochie.
Cenk is loud. I'm sorry.
This is from last night. More cooch. More cooch. This is unbelievable. I mean, look, she's just flat out.
Classy journalism that this is Anna's job. To be this person who bitches about other women.
Flashing us.
And like commentary.
On the young. It is, I know. It feels like, you know what it is? It looks like an old cooch.
It does look like an old cooch.
Yeah. All right, so Anna, is there some psychological thing behind this? Or
incredible.
So I don't know what this chick's name is, but I saw it independently on the internet. And I was like, oh, geez, Lord mercy. At first, I was wondering if it was photoshopped, right? But it turns out it's not. She's real, right?
It looks photoshopped. I mean, her arms look unbelievable.
Take a full
This is
screen
so
yeah.
crazy.
Oh, no way. Like, I'd be worried that she was gonna break something of mine during sex, and
he brushed over it real quick during sex. Like, he's like, I would not fuck this woman. That's the whole thing he's saying right here is I would not fuck this woman because I would be afraid that she would knock something over during sex.
Much more worried that she's gonna pull out a jammy on me.
She actually doesn't. Oh yeah, she does. Never mind. I was gonna say she doesn't look so bad in that picture, but this one.
Oh no! Oh, there's an excellent chance she's a male.
No. Okay, look. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna go quite as far.
Look at how long her arms are.
I'm not gonna go quite as far as you have.
Oh, I don't want to find out what's under that skirt.
Okay, just calm down. But
I don't know how old that was, but like the quality of this video, and it looks like a different setup. So it's like, I don't know, a different like desk from where they were usually at. So like, yeah.
I believe that I am going. If I were the the benevolent dictator of the world, I would legalize bestiality where you are giving. You are pleasuring the animal. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Okay.
Okay, Anna is correct here. Anna is correct here. I really got to get an overlay that can make so that the screen isn't partially covered up. I'm gonna have to commission that. So yeah, let's just skip past that. Let's just go move on.
Eva Longoria flashed her panties.
Oh, okay. This is Young Turk style story. I like this.
So again, like, I'm just drawing your attention to, like, this is the person who is apparently the expert. Who are we? Who are listening to this person about the like relative safety of medication in complex treatment plans for very rare illnesses, like very rare conditions.
Yeah, this story has no purpose other than, come on, let's show you Eva Longoria's panties.
No, but her panties are very surprising because, hold on, before we show the picture.
Have you obtained it?
I've obtained photos of her panties.
Okay.
But before we look at them, I want to go to the peanut gallery. And I want to ask what kind of panties, well, actually, they might have already seen the pictures.
Well,
they are.
Says.
Have you seen the picture of Eva Longoria's panties? Okay, what type of panties?
So this is the expert, right? This is the expert that we're listening to about, yeah, it's like she's specifically speaking about journalists like Jesse Singal. Yeah, some of the risks could be when it evolves to, like, when it comes to transitioning literal kids with puberty blockers. Kasparian declared, "It is a lie that puberty blockers are reversible. In some cases, they are not, and they can cause irreparable harm." She's just claiming this. Like, her job does not include citing examples while she is live, as far as I can tell. You know, she did not pull up an article. Like, I don't know that their show is anything like my show, where, you know, I don't always, but sometimes I will just pause and be like, I can literally just Google this and give you an article. And now you have an article. She changed her mind. I guess she changed her mind. You know, I guess it's as simple as that. She just decided that she doesn't support trans people. I don't know. It seems like people do support trans folks and understand that trans people need access to care until the point that children could be involved. Again, not listening at all to any person who was a trans kid, like listen to the people who didn't have access to care and what that was like for them, and listen to the people who did get access to care and how life-saving that was for them. But no, that's not what it's about, apparently. Yeah, fact-checking only works if you care about reality. Anna can't do that here. It's like, is this coming from a place of disgust? Like, where is this coming from? She never supported trans people that much personally. She said the words, non-binary. I saw that when she was talking about Benny, she called Benny he and then quickly corrected to she. And, like, it's good that she corrected herself, but it does show that she doesn't actually think of Benny as a she, because that is easy to do. I am like, oh, okay, Benny's pronouns are she. And that's just, like, never gonna be a mistake. She's worked with Benny for a while and is, like, still, misgendering. It sounded intentional. Yeah, I can't say that it was intentional, but it did happen, so. She's opposed to traditional sexism, but gives zero crap about fighting oppositional sexism. I mean, this is what I mean. Like, she has, like, a single issue. Anna always has an issue with other women. I'm 50-50 on whether it was accidental or intentional, but it was the worst possible time for it to be an accident. Yeah, like, not a good moment to mess that up. Like, not a good moment. And it shows me that she was not being careful with her words. Do trans people ever accidentally misgender other trans people? Yeah, it happens sometimes. And we just apologize and move on because we know that it's usually not coming from a bad place. I mean, sometimes trans people are shitty. Like, sometimes, you know, binary trans people will deny non-binary people their pronouns. Or, like, sometimes shitty trans people will be like, well, you don't look like a woman, so I refuse to call you she because you should be trying harder. But, like, not usually. It's a grift. If you saw her Adam and Sitch appearance, it was basically a pitch to the right. She directly contradicted herself in too many ways for it to be an accident. Are you talking about... Whoop, hold on. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. This thing? Sitchin Adam, yeah. This is like a 2-minute clip.
Of reproductive rights. I want to say something about abortion. As someone who is firmly in favor of reproductive rights, I want to tell you guys and your audience that the vast majority of us do not agree with what Lance said on Tim Pool's show.
But you were talking about how women, how like disgusted you are that women may have an abortion in the 9th month, right? Or even
a viable baby.
Of a viable baby.
That could live.
I wanted to scream at that time, being like, women who have abortions in the 9th month, they're not doing that because they got bored, or all of a sudden they're like, oh, I don't care anymore. They do that because it's a fucking tragedy. Like, statistically, women who are getting abortions in the 9th month, it's because there's a medical complication that could kill them. That's why they have to do it.
So first off, Tim gave him like a ridiculous hypothetical of like a healthy pregnancy at 9 months, and the woman just decides like, you know, I went through the torture of being pregnant for 9 months, and I've decided to end my healthy pregnancy, you know, right before I'm going to deliver.
Right.
No one's in favor of that. Okay, no one, literally no one. I guess except for Lance.
Pregnant, the baby is viable and capable of surviving on its own.
Sure.
And she says before it breaches oxygen, kill it. Do you think that should be allowed?
This is, again, the baby guillotines. This is why I brought that up. But what a weird scenario. This doesn't happen. This is not the real world.
So I don't know what Lance really thinks.
Yeah.
But the only time abortion...
I think that Anna just, like... Did she just completely wildly misrepresent what Lance said? Like, someone else cut that in, right? Like, someone else cut in what he actually said. Because Lance's opinion was... He was like, this is a stupid hypothetical you keep bringing up. It never happens this way. DM's coverage on this was good as always. She is always amazing. So yeah, I guess among other things that she said on here, is that what the rest of this is about? The rest of this is about Lance? Yeah. So she was on this podcast for a while and apparently said like a lot of wrong and inflammatory things on there. I guess that Cenk has decided that their network is not profitable enough and that they need to pivot toward the right. Or is it just Anna herself who has like realized that she's not gonna get the clout that she wants being a leftist, and that it will benefit her to be one of those women who's like, why I left the left? Yeah, when women are, yeah, of course, in the 9th month, that's a big deal. She went on that podcast to send up the signal that she's grifting to the right. Let's see how long it takes her, or maybe even TYT itself. I wonder if Cenk would sell TYT to like the Daily Beast, or like become a subsidiary of some kind of one of those. Do people still do PragerU Why I Left the Left videos? I don't know. Do they actually host them on PragerU? Is that the specific grift? I know that Ariel Scarcella did one just on her own channel. I don't think she partnered with PragerU. She stopped short of doing that. I'm sure they would have her on though. Yeah, no, agreed. I'm sure that they would have her on. Anyway. Let's see. Do I have anything else? What else does it say in this article? I just, like, I don't know what like, when she says it's a lie that puberty blockers are reversible. Like, this is the kind of moment, the reason why I went off on a tangent about her not providing any proof for what she believes is that, like, and, like, the fact that her job is to just make stupid social commentary. I mean, what are you citing about, what do you mean it's a lie that puberty blockers are reversible? What they do is they pause puberty. If you take them for a very long time, then sure, it can affect your development. But the idea is that you take them for enough time as it takes to get psychological, like, examinations, to get, like, psychiatric evaluations done, and you have now enough time to do that without all of the distress. Like, okay, here's what people don't get. People don't understand that gender dysphoria, a lot of the time, is the underlying issue that trans people are having. I mean, aside from, like, material, like, lack of access to the things that make your life, like, livable, when people try to be like, well, you need to resolve your eating disorder before you can start hormone transition because we've arbitrarily decided that, you know, you have to make sure that what you are is trans and not like just a cis woman with an eating disorder. Not understanding that like transgender men develop eating disorders because they can't control how much curves they have unless they starve themselves. You don't look nearly as feminine and curvaceous. Your boobs are smaller if you starve yourself. So like you're trying to treat the eating disorder, but then the person starts to gain weight and look female again, and you're denying them hormones, like you're denying them testosterone, and it's just, you're just fucking the problem up even worse. Same thing with children who have gender dysphoria. Like, it makes it hard for you to do your work in school. It makes it hard for you to be friends with people. It makes it hard for you to want to take a shower if you have gender dysphoria. Like, those symptoms all look like depression symptoms. Like, you know, these people who are so against the big pharma and everything and complain about how we throw antidepressants at everything. Gender dysphoria is one of those things that kind of just looks like regular depression until the person gets the adequate treatment and understands that it's gender dysphoria. It kind of just feels like depersonalization and depression and anxiety. And so you just end up throwing drugs at that for years, or you could just get the care that you need. So like, yeah, the point of puberty blockers is that you get enough time to like be mentally clear and have the clarity, a break from the constant attack that puberty sometimes feels like to trans people. You know, like, what do you mean about them causing irreparable harm? If your worry is bone density, then okay, just put the kids on the correct hormones when they're at the appropriate age. Okay? Like, chill. Let's see. Talk about racism. Okay, that's the end of the article. I got off of it earlier, but one of the other things I was going to say is they keep accusing us of being the ones who are talking about this stuff and causing the issues. Specifically, Anna was saying that trans men are the ones complaining about being called birthing people or women or whatever. And then also Cenk had in one of his tirades was going about like, oh, you know, you go off about how you want trans women in sports and that's what's hurting the movement. Here, maybe it's this.
The hormone blockers do lower the testosterone. They do even things out a lot, right? But the men still have other physical advantages. Like
men have physical advantages.
Much better. Mm-hmm. And to give you a sense of how unfair this is,
not trans women.
Where she won in Canada with 275-pound bench press. I bench press 275. Okay, and that's
207 plus feeling so immense. We perhaps are trying to say
there was something in here where it was like he's like accusing us of going off about it constantly. Yeah, hold on.
In the women's division, I don't care how many hormone blockers you had. It's gonna make a difference, okay? And in the limited cases.
So he's again not an expert on this, not a scientist, not a man who is informed on the issue.
They're not like instantly breaking every record like Trump is saying, right? But they're doing better than the average bear.
That's not true. Like,
okay, is there more? I really wanted to specifically get the clip.
The information that.
I don't know if you guys are ever going to see it. We shot a pilot just this weekend with a mixed Republican and Democratic family. Okay, I asked them about trans rights. Should they have the same rights, same exact rights in housing, employment, etc.? Every one of them, including hardcore Trump people, were like, yes, they should
have equal rights in everything except sports, which is for some reason not like an understood human right, even though the UN identifies it as one of the things that you have a right to do.
The same exact rights.
Exactly.
When I asked about this topic, every one of them, except one, 6 out of 7, were like, no, not competing in sports.
Yeah, of course.
Doesn't make sense. Men and women are different, okay?
Your knee-jerk sensation.
Whether that's, we can get into the, continue that scientific debate, but as far as the American people go and politics go, you're gonna lose them. Whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. You're gonna lose them.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is it not in here? I thought that this is where I saw like if you keep pushing this, you're gonna ruin the left.
Selfish of activists.
Oh yeah. It's this part.
All of the transphobic legislation that is passing across the country, and for Republicans winning.
That is incredibly selfish of activists who are betraying their own community. Because when you say I don't care about elections, who cares about the Democrats? That isn't the point. The Republicans introduced over 600 bills against the LGBTQ community. That's because of elections. And over 70 of them have already passed. When you say I don't care about winning and I don't care about elections, what you're saying is
so what he's saying here is he's insinuating that like people who are advocating for trans women to be allowed to participate in women's sports, like that folks who don't recognize how much of a rhetorical failure that is are like saying that they don't care about winning the votes. Like, oh, I'm gonna keep advocating for this, even though it's gonna lose us the votes because I've decided that I don't care about the vote. This is like some victim blaming shit, basically, and you're going off of what a couple people on social media may have said, that they're like, I think that what they're probably actually saying is we shouldn't capitulate on this, even though people think that they have an intuitive sensation about what's correct and what's not to do here. Like, we shouldn't cow to what is the popular opinion, like a fallacy of ad populum, because the science does not support the idea that trans women have an unfair advantage in sports. And if you could control for all of the factors, if you wanted to have height division, if you wanted to have weight division, if you really think that trans women having certain muscle mass makes them like different to each other, like base it off of body percentage of muscle mass, then like you can make sports work in a way that isn't discriminatory, but your first knee-jerk reaction is to be discriminatory. So why should we let that happen? But like, again, you're just blaming us for all these laws that have passed, as though we're the ones who are bringing this up. Trans women in sports has not been an issue until they brought it up, until the transphobic laws keep passing. And he brings up the like 700 laws that have been proposed. Like, yeah, man, those are laws attacking our right to participate in sports and in bathrooms and in like our right to access to healthcare. And you're here focusing on the sports issue. Like, why aren't you, Jank, talking about the fact that these laws that are targeting, I guess your personal opinion can be fucking garbage if you want it to be, about how trans kids don't deserve access to care, which fuck you. Like, every person who says like, oh, you don't need to get your tits cut off, you can wait until you're 18. Like, yeah, thank you. Like, plenty of kids kill themselves or attempt to kill themselves or attempt to cut off their own body parts before the age of 18. So like, what you want is dead kids. And I'm tired of the fact that people like brush that fact off, that people like, oh, I'm so desensitized to hearing about the actual living struggle and suffering of trans people. I've just decided that I don't want to care about that. Like, please eat shit and die. Like, I don't fucking want to talk to you. He's getting mad at us for pushing back on a wedge issue. Like, wedge issues are the most important to push back on because those precedents are always pushed further. Exactly. That's what you don't. Yeah. Like, okay, so if we concede that trans women don't belong in women's sports, then the next logical thing that they're going to go to is trans women don't belong in women's locker rooms. And then trans women don't belong in women's bathrooms. And then it's like, okay, well, at what point does it stop? The answer is it doesn't stop. And that's not a slippery slope argument because they are making those laws. I live in Kansas. It is currently illegal for trans women to use women's public facilities here. All of them. All of them. It's not legal for them to go to women's shelters for rape. Like, if a trans woman is raped by her boyfriend, she cannot go to a women's shelter in the state of Kansas because they're gender segregated. But I'm not surprised. You know, people keep pointing out that the TYT, like the Young Turks itself, like the name the Young Turks is a reference to like a genocide, right? I don't know a lot of details about this because frankly I've never been a huge fan of the Young Turks. It's kind of whatever to me. But they've been escalating this way for a while, and they're victim blaming us and insinuating that us focusing on one particular wedge issue is the problem, as though we are not fighting back on all these issues. We have to fight back on all these issues, and he's just telling us like, oh, you can't, like, don't fight back about the sports issue because, oh, we'll lose the whole election. And like, you can tell that these people don't do the research because they also are not aware that the politicians who are running on very exclusively anti-trans platforms are not winning. Like, they are losing a lot. Unless they're in heavily gerrymandered areas, or unless they do something like run as a Democrat and then immediately switch to being a Republican so that they can steal a supermajority in the, I think, House of Representatives of North Carolina, South Carolina, whichever one it was. That bitch who did that. Young Turks were a faction in Ottomans which promoted Western ideas. Yeah, so like we've looked at the research actually and determined that the actual difference between women's sports and men's sports is that there isn't enough money put into women's sports. They have worse facilities, they have worse equipment, they have worse trainers, they don't get sponsors. Like literally they have worse food in some of these areas where like, if this sports team is traveling, you have to work within your budget in order to get food for your team and everything. And it's also true when you look at the research that women do better in endurance sports. In like a sprint, men generally trend a little bit faster, but in a marathon, women generally do better. So there are like some differences, but generally speaking, men and women can be competitive if you just allow them to be competitive with one another. Like there's also that study on math tests that if you expose a girl to like information about how girls are bad at math right before you give her a math test, she'll perform worse than a girl who did not have that. Like it's been, so if like the simple fact that you're playing in a segregated sport because you've been declared to be not good enough compared to men, like that on its own is a detriment to you being able to be successful. But these people don't care about the science. That's the thing with transphobes, and I'm just gonna go out and say that Cenk and Anna are transphobic. They are transphobes. If they would like to stop being considered transphobes, they should stop advocating for transphobic policies and like advocating against the civil rights of trans people. Access to healthcare is a civil right. Access to involvement in sports is a civil right, and it has to do with your opportunities in life. Whether you're going to be able to go to college sometimes is dependent on a sports, like getting on the sports team. And it's not like women are being denied opportunities if trans women are given some opportunities. Because at this point, they kind of don't have any opportunities. Oh, interesting. For chemistry reasons I don't quite grasp, higher estrogen allows quicker recovery, so most women can go for longer than a man of similar size. Muscle recovery. So, like, when you do a break between your sets, you end up with, like, you're able to recover faster and get back on it. But allegedly, testosterone is so much better for muscles. What are you telling me, Dizzy? You're telling me that testosterone is not the quintessential muscle builder hormone? What? You recover faster, but muscles grow slower. That's, I think that's why, like, women are leaner. Like, they tend to be leaner. Yeah, biology is complicated. I feel like I'm more or less done with the segment, but we can keep talking about. Testosterone is good for bursts of strength. Men can lift men in one go. Men can lift men? I feel like that might have been a typo because you've been awake since 3 a.m. Also means cis women are genetically more built for hunting in a hunter-gatherer society than men. Yeah, okay, so men can lift more in one go. Women can lift for longer. Men can lift men. Got it. Delicious. Water is so wonderful. We have 100 likes. Hell yeah, dude. I'd watch men lifting men. I feel like that's gotta be a shoujo, right? There's gotta be a manga about men lifting men. Hell yeah. I want a man I can lift. You want a skinny twink? That's what you're after, Mama Mephistopheles. A skinny twink. Oh gosh. There is other stuff that we could talk about today. Oh my god. It's been 2 hours and I'm already like, meh. I'd be tired. Well, so here's the thing. It's like the working out a lot lately. And it's resulting in some tiredness. Like, oh yeah, I made a mistake. I keep getting distracted when I'm in the middle of trying to talk. On Friday, I got up and I decided to do my big cardio morning. But then I didn't eat enough food or drink enough water afterwards. So I ended up with an enormous headache. Like, toward the end of the day on Friday. And it sucked. It was not a fun time. What about femboys lifting femboys? Listen. Oh, I was gonna flex, but no flexing allowed. We need more donos. More donos for flexing. Smaller proportions on average limit total muscle mass too. I mean, yeah, like your bones are shorter than you can't, like, then some of the muscle is like the length of it, so I guess that like makes sense. I have those all day, every day. Excedrin is your friend. I took an ibuprofen. I don't like taking medication that much for headaches and stuff. I try to stay away from over-the-counters as much as I can. The Witch King of Angmar be wanting a twink too. I will break him. Men lifting men, the video game? Oh no. I don't think I can look at this on stream. I want to see it for myself, but I don't think, Are there, like, nipples on his elbows? Is that what's going on here? Oh my god, the dongs are swinging. Trust me when I tell you that the dongs are swinging, okay? I just want to be the tall succubus mommy to my femboy husband. Is that so much to ask? It's so much to ask. I'm glad that there's so many swoletariat. So many people joining the swoletariat. That's what we need. I've been trying to fix the elastics on my pants, but I just managed to push it to the other side. No! Oh god. So what else did I have kind of planned for today? I guess I still have a bunch of links open about the Supreme Court. Do I want to talk about that? There was so much Supreme Court stuff in a short period of time. I think I'm getting more buff. Definitely not able to work out at the pace you are, though. Listen, I took a kind of a break. I miss days sometimes. Like, I didn't exercise Thursday or Friday this week. I mean, I did cardio and like yoga, but I didn't do my muscle stuff, which is why I'm gonna start bulking again. Like, actually, my back hurts today. I don't want to show it off to you too much, but like, my back hurts up through here today, and it sucks. And I think it's because I was doing yoga a little bit too intensely in the last couple of days. So I took some ibuprofen earlier, and I'm trying to like just chill today. Because what I want is to do my exercises tomorrow. I would like to go back to the gym tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to because of my back. So I'm either going to start my bulk again tomorrow or the following week. And then I'm going to bulk until like Labor Day weekend. My knees seem to be getting worse with time, which is extremely irritating. I need to rebuild strength and then to stop them subluxing, but they hurt. Yeah. I would do, like, maybe bicycles, like when you lie flat on the ground and you're, maybe do really slow, like, with your knees bent, like, bicycles. Just, like, really, really slow, to start with. Intense NB yoga for the win. Yeah. Should I, like, do we want yoga? Listen, I have my Fansly. It's safe for work Fansly. I do post thirst traps and, like, oh, you can see my bra in this picture and, like, here's my fat ass in booty shorts or whatever. But, like, should I also do yoga pics? And, like, sweaty post-workout pics? Is that what you want? Oh, God. There's so much Supreme Court shit. I think I'm gonna skip all of that Supreme Court shit. Oh man, I don't want to. I don't want to skip all those things. Maybe. People are leaving! Come on now. So yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff about the Supreme Court that cause I haven't covered that yet. I guess let's just rapid fire. Let's just try to do a rapid fire segment of all of this Supreme Court stuff. The Supreme Court really went off at the end of June. It's July now, and I'm late to covering all this stuff, but there's just a lot, and I wanted to kind of put it all in one place, so here we are. Welcome to YouTube. You don't know what you're missing, just try searching women kissing. It's YouTube. Let's go look at some of these articles that I have open about the Supreme Court. There were like 4 or 5 maybe different things that they did in the past couple weeks that were just wild. So I'm not going to get into depth on all of them. I want to acknowledge that they knocked down affirmative action, which a lot of people are really upset about. They are, oh, do I even have one? Yeah. So Supreme Court guts affirmative action, effectively ending race-conscious admissions. They did not, however, overturn legacy admissions. So if your daddy went to Harvard, you get into Harvard. But if you're black and you're from an underserved community, there is no such thing as being promoted despite the fact that the school is already majority white. So, like, that's the whole reason why affirmative action happened in the first place, TLDR, la 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 la, was that they just, like, places would not accept black people as employees or as applicants to college, and we needed to adjust that and say, hey, you should at least have this many people of the black like descendancy, like of the black culture getting into this school. And so now there's nothing to prevent that. It's gonna pretty much trend back to being an all-white institution because legacy admissions, again, many black applicants are first time in their family, like first generation college attendees, whereas with, you know, white families that have historically had more wealth, et cetera, affirmative action has been ended. Supreme Court going off, popping off. The SCOTUS killed student debt relief. I know that apparently Biden has said that they're going to try to find some other way to do this, but the Supreme Court struck down Joe Biden's debt relief plan in a 6-3 decision, which rewrites federal law to create a bespoke extra-textual prohibition on the large-scale cancellation of student debt. So, yeah, that's not great. A lot of people are really upset. Hopefully they can maybe perform some other thing. Oh, legacy admissions. It means that my daddy went to this school, and that means that, like, my application is given greater weight. Like, I'm more likely to be considered as an applicant because my daddy went to this school. Yeah, it's pretty dumb. But anyway, so yeah, there was an attempt to cancel a bunch of debt for Pell Grant recipients. And like for the majority of people who have student debt, it's like less than $10,000 because they started going to school and then quit. The overwhelming majority of people who have student loan debt, like that would clear it for most people. And then you would still have plenty of folks who have like hundreds of thousands of debt from going to like become a fucking lawyer or a doctor or whatever. But no, they've canceled that. And Biden apparently has said that there is a different way for them to clear away student debt. We will see. The more relevant to me things about the Supreme Court, there's actually two other things that are a little bit more relevant to my channel. Hi, you're here for the trans and queer content. Nobody really cares when I post about labor or other things that are unrelated to being trans. Well, I should say my core audience is mostly focused on the trans issue, which then makes it hard to branch out because YouTube, I swear to God, you do these stupid things all the time. Like making it to where if your video doesn't perform well with your core audience, then it won't get promoted in the algorithm, and making it hard for people to make different kinds of content. What if I want to become a lifestyle YouTuber? Okay, I can't because people care about my trans specific content. That's what they subscribed for. And I can't break out anyway, I'm going to stop complaining about it. But anyway, U.S. Supreme Court won't weigh gender dysphoria status under disability law. So, you know the Americans with Disabilities Act, which is the piece of paper that means like, yeah, you're required to have certain like accommodations for wheelchairs. You have to have a wheelchair accessible building, or you have to have, I don't know, like I don't know, like what are some other ADA things? You have to allow someone with a service animal into your business. You cannot deny someone service for being disabled. Like there are specific protections for people with disabilities, right? And at some point after the ADA was passed, I believe, someone tacked on an additional bit in there that says specifically that gender identity is not a disability. Like, there was a case asking whether gender dysphoria is a disability under federal law, and because there is legislation that specifically says that it's not, like it does not qualify as a disability under the 1999 federal law, Americans with Disabilities Act. Like, so they were asking the question, does this count? You know, is it okay? Is it constitutional or whatever that gender dysphoria, it's an illness that you have to get a diagnosis for. I say illness, like it's a condition that you have to get a diagnosis for because that's how the system is currently set up. So it is a thing that is a disability. Is ADHD considered a disability? Yeah, ADHD is a disability under the ADA. So yeah, despite the fact that you require a medical diagnosis in order to get a treatment, which then alleviates the symptoms, and despite the fact that dysphoria can be quite debilitating, can make it hard for you to do your job or do school, that apparently it doesn't qualify. So the Supreme Court declined to hear a dispute about this. A trans woman whose former jailers housed her with men and delayed her hormone treatment asked whether gender dysphoria is a disability under federal law. So she's like, was I discriminated against under the ADA because I was denied my medical treatment? Like I was denied my medicine, at least temporarily delayed. Like she was for a period of time denied her medicine. So is that like medical mistreatment? Is that like disability discrimination? And they declined to hear it. So the answer is no. So for any future cases, you will not be able to have gender dysphoria considered like a disability. It's explicitly not on the books. So even more relevant, and I could, I guess, go on a little bit further about this one, Supreme Court rules in favor of discrimination of same-sex couples. So a woman who allegedly makes websites, an amateur website designer, so yeah, she was never even asked to make a website for a same-sex wedding. I'm pretty sure that this person created this company. Yeah, they will decline to hear this, but will rule on a case that was literally entirely fabricated. Yes, thank you, Timerinia. This case, she had never made a single wedding website. They created this case on a speculative idea that it is against her First Amendment rights to be forced to create a website because for a gay wedding because of her religious beliefs, like that because it's like a creative endeavor or something. So despite the underlying claim being completely made up, the court sided with her religious liberty argument. So yeah, the court ruled that a civil rights law in Colorado barring anti-queer discrimination violated the First Amendment speech rights. Doing so that has allowed businesses to discriminate. A new wave of litigation further expanding discrimination is likely to follow. It's like previously, we remember it was the bakery, right? The bakery a while ago. Hit like on the video if you remember the bakery in Colorado where some person was asked to make, a man I think was asked to make a cake for a gay wedding. He declined, and it was found that that was not acceptable to do because it's like you're a business and you're discriminating. Was it 14th Amendment? I'm not sure if it was 14th Amendment, but I think the argument was basically like, if you provide a public service, you cannot discriminate against people based on their LGBTQ status, effectively. But now that's being considered like, oh, it's actually your First Amendment right. You're like, so you now have a First Amendment right to discriminate, like the speech amendment aspect to it, even though you're being commissioned. So like, I guess graphic designers can turn down work like based on like, let's just start basing this like religion. It's not gonna work, but like, because religion is enshrined and they can argue that gender identity isn't enshrined. So like, is it my First Amendment right to decline to take work from a Christian? I'm like, I refuse to make you a cake because you're Christian. I refuse to put a cross on your cake because that's against my First Amendment rights. Like, no, of course that wouldn't work. Of course that wouldn't work. There's no way. The website thing was so bad that the guy they cited as having requested the website is a web designer himself and was straight married at the time they cite him requesting a website. It was just fake. Like, so like, I don't even understand. I don't understand how she got that case before a court because there were no damages. She alleged that someone requested this of her and that she declined, and then the person like sued her. Did they make up every aspect of it? Like the guy, like, yeah, like the guy that allegedly requested the website didn't actually even need the website. Like literally every aspect of this was fake. So this is what the Supreme Court is right now. And also, like, I guess, like, is this the time to do this other thing? Maybe it is. Hold on. Okay, so I didn't have a plan for this when I first started the video, but I want to, like, I think that the point of this segment, like, I wasn't sure what the point of this segment was when I started, but the point of this segment is that this Supreme Court is going to screw us over as trans people. We keep wondering, like, ooh, are they going to support trans rights? Like, you know, we've covered these cases where Trump-appointed judges are knocking down these care bans, trying to prevent trans kids from getting access to care. Like, it's so thoroughly clear that this is against the 14th Amendment, whatever. However, in Tennessee, there was a ruling, a Sixth Circuit Court upheld a trans care ban, citing the Dobbs abortion ruling, claiming that trans care is not, quote, deeply rooted in our nation's history and traditions, and thus can be discriminated against. So, like, even if something is protected, like, even if something isn't explicitly illegal, according to the Constitution, like literally just whether or not it was a thing when our country was founded, this thing is not deeply rooted in our nation's history and traditions, which also, like, abortion is deeply rooted in our nation's history and traditions. People who were pro-revolution described America as an abortion, like getting an abortion from the UK, and they described it that way, and it was a positive thing if you look at the context. So that's just a lie. But anyway, so you can just say, oh, like, this wasn't a thing back then, and therefore it can be discriminated against. So, like, we can hope that they will, if one of these cases is going to get appealed up to the Supreme Court, like, let's just be totally clear, one of these cases is going to make it. One of these cases where trans care bans are going through, it is going to make it up to the Supreme Court, and they can just completely dodge the question of whether it is against the 14th Amendment by saying, well, it doesn't matter whether you're not getting equal protection in the sense that the medication is being dispensed to a different person for a different reason. It matters whether this is deeply rooted in our nation's history, and because it isn't, we've arbitrarily decided that this is a thing that does not deserve legal protection. So, like, I'm pretty sure we're fucked. Like, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna lose the right to healthcare on a national level for all trans people and not just trans children. I'm starting to really understand why leftists call them, like, priests. Because they really do, it's, like, truly arbitrary. And it's basically like when you have a government that is, like, closely entwined with the theocratic, like, system, that the politician can say, like, hey, you know, I'm trying to start a war with the neighboring country. Can you go ahead and, like, tell people that the gods smile on the omens of war? And then they do that. And then they get their religious excuse to do a thing. It's the same bullshit happening here. They just have these appointees. We've imbued them with this power. You know, it's not godly infused power. We've imbued this court with this power, and we appoint them, and then we go like, hey man, let me slip you a nice boat trip and maybe a fucking $1 million under the table, and you can rule in favor of my agenda, please. So I don't know what to do. Oh, and to be clear, yeah, the affirmative action thing is related. The 14th Amendment was created during Reconstruction to address racial disparities, and the originalists just threw that out the window. So they cited the 14th Amendment about affirmative action. Yeah, like, this is not good. We're not in a good place. So yeah. Having to have a conversation with your loved ones about needing to get the hell out of the country is not a fun thing to do. Or, like, at least getting to a sanctuary state. You know, if the national government goes down this transphobic route, which it probably will, then we need to, like, recalibrate and, you know, regroup in places that are safer. And, like, some of the places that are safer are going to be, like, states that have those protections. It'll probably take a little bit longer before the federal government says, you're not allowed to make state laws that are, you know, discrimination particular to your area. You're not allowed to make anti-discrimination ordinances in your state. You know, that it'll probably take a little longer. So let's concentrate in these places that are a little bit safer. That's what happens when you abandon political systems. What kind of argument are you trying to make, Acrobatus? Like, what do you mean abandon political systems? Aren't there, like, more people turning out to vote than ever before? In every election, like, in the past several presidential elections, have we not had, like, more voters each time? By abandon political systems, do you mean being systematically fucked over by gerrymandering and, like, political bureaucratic nonsense? Like, also you can vote in absentia. Yeah, I can vote still if I move out of the country. No, your side lefties don't vote. You're just making up bullshit, Acrobatus. We do vote. We just also recognize that voting doesn't fucking help. Like, I do vote, and I encourage people to vote, and I also recognize that it literally is not helping, and it will not help, and we will not get anywhere because the current system is built in such a way that we cannot succeed. Cosmic Witch, welcome to the website. Hell yeah. For any of you who are hanging out in the YouTube chat and are not aware, this website chat over here is my website. It's not Twitch. It's luxander.net/live. You can come hang out with us. Voting is at best damage control / harm reduction. Yeah, and like harm reduction is important, but it is not going to make anything better. It's clear. Like, the civil rights movement started well before most of us in this chat were born, and it's like people, like black people are still being killed in the streets, you know, so like it's not going to change anything. I was actually demon on here before I made a new account. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, the revolution will not be voted for. Anyway. We did a Supreme Court segment that I was supposed to do last week. We did it. Drink more water, everybody. Acrobatus, you need to provide some, like, statistics about lefties not voting, and I don't think you are capable of providing those statistics, so you can't just claim it's a fact that lefties just dream about revolution and not voting. Like, do you understand that the language that you use betrays the fact that you have a bias and that your opinion is not based on fact? Like, when you accuse lefties of just dreaming about revolution, like, you are using dismissive language that indicates that you don't actually engage with very many leftists. Or, like, that what you're experiencing is you're seeing a lot of people complain about the system not working, and you just, like, are making an assumption about the fact that they... Like, I don't appreciate the fact that when I vote for president, I will not matter at all, because I live in Kansas. So if I vote for a Democrat, it doesn't matter at all, and it doesn't matter at all, and that's very, like, disempowering, right? Like, it's disempowering to know that your vote doesn't matter, okay? So I can be frustrated about that, and a lot of lefties can be frustrated about that. And, like, we are not required to have nuanced takes every time we discuss it. The left is a very broad group of people, so it's hard for you to make, like, to cast aspersions on all leftists as a group. Plenty of us do think that voting is very important. And a lot of us think that voting is fucking bullshit. And it's awful. But whatever. Does magical bean water count as water? It's a diuretic, so it'll make you pee more. So it's not very hydrating. Gamer Girl bathwater. I'm gonna raffle off my Gamer Girl bathwater. That's a great idea. I voted all my life and gotten screwed over by the Electoral College twice. Would you say that lefty influences on their YouTube channels advocating for voting? Yeah. One of the biggest lefty influencers, Vosh, advocates for people to vote every fucking time. And people get so mad at him. Like, people get mad at him for being like, yeah, you need to vote for Biden. Like, you know? Voting sucks, but people make way too big a deal about not voting when it's just something you do once a year. Do you think so? Like, people make a big deal about not voting? It's like, I'm like angry about the fact that my vote doesn't ever accomplish anything. And so there does come a certain time when you feel like it's fucking pointless. And you're like, but I feel like I'm required to do it. Because, like, otherwise people are gonna accuse me of being the problem, despite the fact that I live in a gerrymandered state. Like, my state is even gerrymandered. My state could be purple, but it's been gerrymandered. So, like, Kansas could be a swing state. Imagine that. Imagine a world in which Kansas is a swing state. It could be that way, except that our shit is gerrymandered all to hell. I think people make a big deal about talking about voting or not voting. That's fair. I do see some people who spend like actual energy arguing that people shouldn't vote. And it's like, okay, don't vote, fine. Those of us who are voting only spend a few hours, one day a year doing it at most. Leftists by definition are extremists and radicals. Acrobatus, why are you here right now? Like, why are you here right now? What do you think being a leftist means? Like, what do you think being an extremist means? They literally want revolution and change the whole economic system? Come on. Yeah, man, like, this economic system sucks. What do you mean? Like, why, like... Okay, I guess that's radical, sure. Like, wanting people to have access when they currently don't have... Like, so here's the thing that I think is so fucking insane, Acrobatus, right now, about you and your position, is, like, the idea that people should have the things that they need because they're alive and, like, should have the things that they need because they didn't choose that. Like, that's the radical position. But the position that people should starve to death because it's not workable... Hold on. Yes, if you guys were pro-voting, you wouldn't talk about revolutions. You can want two things at the same time. I don't want to call you a fucking idiot, but I want you to know that you're being a fucking idiot right now. Like, you're like making a choice to be a fucking idiot. You can say this entire system doesn't work. The US government, the way that it's currently designed, doesn't work. And I think that it should be dismantled and replaced with something that does work. And by work, I mean, like, actually produce good outcomes for people, right? And I can recognize that voting is a way to reduce harm within the system while we still live in it. But it definitely shouldn't be the way that it is, you know? Acro blocked me, so I moved over here. Okay, welcome over, Darkly Yours, hello. Also frustrated that folks reduce democracy to voting. It's so much more than that. Yeah, I guess that's fair. We need a government that doesn't let billionaires and morons run it. Yeah, I mean, like, the whole fact that economic incentive is what drives everything. Like, that's the whole thing that makes capitalism suck, is that everything is done because it's profitable and not because it produces good outcomes. So, like, of course the government is going to end up catering to billionaires and creating more billionaires. We ideally need to move beyond the need for government in the first place, or at least beyond local governments. I don't know, like, what the best system is, right? But, I think that some conversations can be happening, you know? I'm an anarchist. I vote in my country. Granted, our electoral system is in better shape, and boomers are now the minority here, if only just. But to understand my position, yes, eventually I'd like a different system, but we aren't there right now. He is probably just a troll. I mean, yeah, no, I entertain trolls sometimes. Sometimes I like to be spicy at someone, which is why I haven't immediately blocked them. It's not the same thing as saying no leadership. Governments are only one way to manage political discussion. Of course, yeah. Like having a conversation about some of the other options, because the option that we are currently working with clearly does not work for the good of people. I feel like the idea of having like a local system of governance makes sense. And then, like, there's communication between groups. So, like, maybe some kind of rules governing the communication between groups. Because as Dizzy points out, like, if there's an overarching government who's telling everybody what to do, they don't necessarily know what are the needs here. Like, oh, you've decided to put more funding into agriculture. Well, guess what? My community is a fishing community. So what the fuck? You literally can't engage in good faith. Acrobatus... What do you think good faith means? Bad faith means I'm being dishonest with you. Like, bad faith means I'm representing a view that I don't actually hold, but I'm 100% honest because I'm autistic and I don't have the option to lie about my political beliefs, Everything I say is 100% real. I understand that you think it's radical that, like, for example, I think that there should be a maximum income, you know? Like, I think that if you're making a certain amount of money, you should be taxed at 100% past that couple $1 million or whatever. But, like, it's not radical, apparently, for someone to hoard billions of dollars that they could never reasonably spend in their lifetime. You know, like, I'm not doing character assassination or outright dismissing your opinion. I'm explaining, like, every single thing that you have said. Like, yes, I'm telling you that you're being an idiot because you can be an idiot and, like, not have that be an intrinsic thing about your personality. You are trolling right now. You are taking up a lot of time and attention on my stream, and I'm letting you do that because I'm having fun talking to you. But I've answered all of your things. Like, everything that you're saying, I'm engaging with your ideas and explaining the concepts to you. And you're just, like, being a little whiny bitch baby because you think that I'm being aggressive. Like, that, like, you stirring up shit with me and then me calling you an idiot, like, you are doing this on purpose. Like, I just want you to know that I understand what you're doing. Me and my threatening crochet hook that I'm gesticulating with. Communism is also just one of many systems for resource management. I'm not gonna stop insulting you until you stop saying stupid things. Like, like, you're accusing me of, like, not being able to engage in good faith. Like, that's an insult. Like, the fact that you don't understand that I'm being honest with you and, like, you're accusing me of dodging the question, even though I am engaging with all of your issues. Like, I'm not gonna be polite to someone who's being stupid on purpose. We could have an even larger government above our national government that represents global interests. I have kind of liked the idea in the past oceanography of having, like, a globalized government. Like, I think that's like the utopia if you think of, like, oh my god, it's perfect, everything's perfect. But, like, is government the correct thing to do? Like, is that even the correct framework to approach here, you know? Like, should we just get rid of the concept of government? We already have a global government. It's called the World Bank. True. Personally, I think some communist ideas are kind of based, though. Communism is, you know, just the idea that you do things collectively. Anyway, I really want to learn crochet. It's super easy, Faith. I'll be honest, it's pretty easy. Globalism is already a reality at this point. I mean, not in this centralized way. Like, you know, that's an ideal world is one where you don't have, like, wars, right? So, like, that's the idea behind a globalized government, is that there are no wars or no conflicts like that, and so all issues are handled internally. But that kind of also implies, like, the way that a state has a tendency to absorb all of the violence into itself. That implies sort of like a global stick that's ready to, like, hit you. You know what I mean? If our government becomes a theocracy and, quote, Christian nationalists are in complete control and deny us religious liberty, that is also a time for revolution. We have a president and not a damn pope. Nope to the pope. Saying nope to the pope. That's what I'm going to come out here and say. Oh, did Acrobatus finally leave? Like, literally doing the thing, like, I'm going to come in and say a bunch of stupid shit and then accuse you of being insulting and go, oh, I'm a little whiny baby. And then go like, oh yeah, you're so gentle. Character assassination, dismissing any opinion, like, as though your opinion is automatically valid just because it's yours. Like, no. Wars are bad, IMO, but far from the worst case. Worst case is enslavement on mass scale, which China and USA is already still doing. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Yeah, conservatives are so sensitive. Oh, I'm a little baby. Oh, I came into a lefty stream and decided to be a dickwad. and then became a whiny baby and ran away. Wait, you weren't insulting? Was my accusation wrong? No, I'm being insulting because you're being a fucking whiny baby boy. Like, a whiny baby boy. Oh yeah, like, I'm not a conservative. If you're defending capitalism, you're a conservative. Like, that's what that means. To want to conserve the system that it currently is. I'm insulting you now for sure. Telling you that you're being idiotic initially was not insulting. Now I'm insulting you. He's the birthday boy! True. What I want to know is why you keep whinging about being insulted instead of engaging with the ideas, Acrobatus. Because you keep bringing... You brought me some ideas about how leftists are like so terrible and we refuse to vote and we only talk about revolution and like we're so radical. And then I tried to engage with the ideas and I told you that the way that you were presenting your ideas was idiotic, and now you're like being a whiny baby instead of engaging with the ideas, you know? Are you ready to engage on the issues, Acrobatus? I would like to. I'm waiting for you to engage with me on the issues. I explained that plenty of leftists vote. Like, very occasionally people will, like, say that you shouldn't vote, but those people are stupid. I'm explaining to you the frustration. What do you mean, give me a question? You came in here and started bitching at me, and then I started responding to that, and then you became a whiny baby. What do you mean, give you a question? This is my show. You come here to talk to me. People confuse the fact that insulting others doesn't make people right with the idea that insulting others automatically makes you wrong somehow, when that isn't true. I can dismantle your ideas and then call you a fucking idiot and it doesn't repair your shitty ideology. That's also not an ad hom. People say like, oh my god, you're ad homing me. An ad hominem attack or an ad hominem fallacy is when I say you are wrong because you are dumb. There's a difference between saying you are wrong and you are dumb. That's like two different things. And me saying you are wrong and dumb is not an ad hominem. Because I can explain why someone is wrong and then also say that they're dumb. I think that the recent fascist actions are social shocks and that they're causing a lot of people to re-examine and change their views. We're going to see a lot of self-sorting this year. I mean, you think that, but then Anna Kasparian and Cenk are aligning themselves with the literal violent transphobes. Like, people who you think of as otherwise intelligent and who are, like, aligning themselves with, like, I guess I mean it's getting some people to re-examine and change their views in the sense that they used to be trans-affirming and now they are Nazis. People like Anna and Cenk getting converted over to the conservative side of things. Yeah, people who want to beat up kids for playing sports. People who want to vaginally inspect your 9-year-old daughter to ensure that she is cisgender. Anna and Cenk are aligning themselves with Nazis, Acrobatus. I know that you missed the part of the stream earlier because you came in quite late, but when the neo-Nazis are protesting trans people, the Young Turfs, oh my god, that's amazing. So yeah, like, if it's clear that the right wing and the conservative radicals, like the Nazi alt-right contingent, they are the ones who are coming out against trans people. And so Anna and Cenk are now aligning themselves with those positions, such as trans kids don't deserve access to medical care, and trans women have an unfair advantage in sports, despite the fact that there is no evidence of that. Like, they don't realize that they're aligning themselves with Nazis. So, like, at a certain point, if you're advocating for the same stuff that the Nazis are advocating for, you basically just are that thing. And also, yeah, they have a class interest. That's another point, Dizzy. Like, Anna and Cenk have a class interest that we all don't, because they are, they're, like, rich, basically, right? Like, compared to a lot of us, they are rich folks. Was that guy really thinking medical professionals are giving HRT to 9-year-olds? You get blockers at 9 years old if you're having precocious puberty, and then we've decided that that's okay. They are business owners with a great deal of employees. True. Yeah, they have a class interest of being aligned with business owners. They might not even realize it yet, but they've chosen the fash. Agreed, Sparkles. Sparkle Shy Guy. Hell yeah. I made some energy balls yesterday. It was delicious. They have like peanut butter and rolled oats and a little bit of vanilla extract, some chia seed, some flax seed, and some honey. And then I just kind of like mixed all that together. Oh, and it also has chocolate chips and cranberries in it. And they're supposed to be just like, I can just eat it and it'll be really calorie dense. I mean, not really calorie dense. It's like 175 calories, but like, it's like a lot of protein and stuff, and it's supposed to keep me from getting hungry for a while. I heard they did union busting when TYT employees tried to unionize. That does not surprise me that they wouldn't be pro-union. Conservatives try to push that literal children are getting SRS, which has literally never happened. Meanwhile, intersex people being forced to have surgery to, quote, fix them. Yeah, like an intersex kid having a vaginoplasty done on them because their vagina is, like, quote, too shallow for their eventual husband. Sometimes minors do get SRS. You know, like Keffels got her vaginoplasty when she was like 16 or 17, right? But what is this hunger reducer? I was playing Minecraft. Faith, just do a Google search for like low calorie snacks that'll keep you full. You know, cottage cheese. Keffels was 18. Oh, okay, she was 18. I thought that she was like, oh, she started HRT at 16. Okay, I got you. Cottage cheese, peanut butter, nuts, like bananas. Those are like low calorie but very filling. So just do a Google search, and energy balls are one of the things that came up. So like energy balls, there's like a million different ways to make them. TLDR, some kind of nut butter, rolled oats, honey, and then some other stuff that you want to put in them. There are rare cases of minors getting SRS at 16 or 17, but those are instances where the dysphoria is so strong that they will die if they don't get it. Yeah, like there is a very high burden of proof. Would you say European governments are far right? I mean, the Italians just, they just put an actual fascist in, right? Like, Italy definitely did. Rishi Sunak, I don't know if he's, like, far right. Yeah, I mean, the government in the UK is trending toward the right, for sure. They're trending toward the right. I've heard people express concerns about Germany as well. Like, people who live in Germany are expressing concern about the direction their government is going. Wartime can kind of create authoritarianism, which is a far right ideology. So like the fact that there's currently a war going on in Europe means that the governments are going to generally trend toward more authoritarian systems. The process of getting SRS when you turn 18 often starts while you're 16, but to my knowledge, most trans surgeries minors get are like top surgery to remove breast tissue. True, yeah. And, of course, cis boys with gynecomastia also sometimes get top surgery as minors, and that's considered fine and normal. They're quote-unquote healthy tissue being removed. My problem controlling my blood sugar is I get hungry a lot. Yeah. Definitely got to trend towards things that are high in protein. If you're trying to control your blood sugar but you get hungry a lot, then you want to increase your protein intake, I would say. The German government is currently far left compared to the US. This is the federal government, though. Some states are going to hell. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, some people I've seen from Germany have mentioned that they're worried about the direction that it may go. I managed to keep myself from wasting money on fast food by ordering groceries instead. Yes! Listen, even if you order groceries, you're allowed to every once in a while get, like, a frozen dinner. It's still less expensive than going out to eat. Man tits are not pathological. Men can breastfeed. Lots of men just don't like having them. Imagine. Are you trying to catch me out on my wording, Acrobatus? Like, did I say that being pro-capitalist was far right earlier, or did I say that being pro-capitalist was conservative? I think that that's what I said. And being conservative is different from being far right, so it kind of seems like what you're trying to do here is play games. I've had German trans friends express the same thing. It does depend heavily on the state. Sure, fair enough. I mean, same thing in the United States. It depends heavily on the state until suddenly it's a national problem. You know what I mean? All I eat is frozen dinners, honestly, but I'm way more disabled than most of you. Listen, sometimes you just need to eat a frozen dinner. The one thing that I don't like about it is that I don't think that it's safe necessarily to like eat off of microwaved plastic stuff. That's the only thing. I'm trying not to eat as many TV dinners and stuff because of the fact that they all come in like those plastic containers, and they say they're microwave safe, but I just don't trust that. Yeah, I don't think most trolls realize how obvious it is that they're trolling. But I think Acrobatus just misunderstood me because they did correct themselves. What is going on? Why are my views not updating? Being such a goofy goober. Usually noodles come in cardboard. Could you take them out of the plastic basket? I'm talking about like frozen dinners. Frozen dinners. I guess you could take them out of the package, but like, I don't know. Sometimes they're like stuck to the bottom of it. Some are switching to paper trays. Yeah, like Michaelina's has paper trays, but even those paper trays are like lined with plastic. There is a very thin, like strip of plastic or whatever. I'm back. I quote, forgot to mow the lawn today. No, like paper. Yeah, I mean, like, it's hard to put food in a paper container and then have it, like, travel and, potentially thaw and stuff and, like, not, like, leak through the plastic or not leak through the paper without there being, like, still a little, like, a plastic film on the inside of the paper. Yeah, it's not necessarily microplastics that Mama says microplastics. It's like phthalates that I was more concerned about. Like the putting it in the microwave and getting like potentially like cancer causing things coming out, oozing out of the plastic. The paper ones do leak and I usually put them on a plate. Okay, fair enough. Okay, that's good. I'm glad to see the companies are switching. I know that there's like issues with switching over, but I'm glad that they're trying anyway. Why are you being so weird? Okay, yeah. It decided to log me out in the middle of my stream. Sometimes YouTube logs me out while I'm in the middle of streaming. So then the views stop updating and I can't see how many people are here. 56 people. Okay, I figured there were fewer than 72 people. It was locked at 72 for a long time. The German federal government isn't great anyway, not necessarily transphobic, but big on putting up hoops to jump through, like no informed consent for hormones, for example. I've heard that non-binary people have a really hard time getting care as well. Like getting hormone-related care. I remember following some German trans guys a couple years ago who were saying, like, they basically had to present themselves as though they were trans men and not, like, a little bit non-binary, which they were, in order to get access to care. Delicious. Loose leaf is the best container life hack. The Labour Party has a silent campaign of ousting as many trans people as possible at the moment, which is basically ensuring that there will be no movements in trans rights. Yep. Lots of brands are switching to BPA free now that people aren't as able to deny the problem. That's good, yeah. Oh gosh. I'm 3/4 of the way done with my yard. Push mowing half an acre is rough. That's the one good thing about renting, is that I don't have to do lawn care. Although I love the idea of owning a house and replacing all of the grass with something that doesn't grow too high. I have a non-binary friend in Germany who did have to do exactly that, acting as if they were transitioning to male in order to get care. And the psychiatric hoops are oof. Yep. There was still a lived experience requirement for me to get hormones, and I argued that all clothing I would wear cis or trans as either gender, so I got away with skipping that weight. Fair enough. I rent and I still need to do my own lawn. Part of the agreement. Yeah, you're getting the wrong end of the agreement. Why would anyone ever voluntarily get a lawn that they have to mow regularly? I recently saw a lawn that someone had planted a bunch of wildflowers on, and there was a sign in the yard, and I did not get close enough to see the sign because I was just driving past. But I think it was like for butterflies or something. Like maybe like they got someone to approve it and say like, yes, this is officially a wildfire area for bugs, or like for monarch butterflies maybe. I know that sometimes like there's a lot of people who really are into monarch butterflies and really want there to be more of them. So I think that that's a really neat way to avoid having to do any lawn care. Is just grow like a shit ton of wildflowers and have it declared a butterfly stopping point. It's every American's duty to mow as much grass as possible. Lawns are a huge time investment for rarely enough gain compared to a city park that has community shared maintenance. Fair enough, I suppose. I just love the idea of taking out all of the grass and putting in like creeping thyme or something, and like then having certain areas on the edges where I have like my bigger plants, or maybe even having a themed yard where it's like, this area is like, I like the idea of going like, this quadrant is fire, this quadrant is air, this quadrant is water, this quadrant is earth, and like the plants and the decorations are themed around that. That could be really cool. Lawn grass sucks, I need to mow today. Rest in pieces. Lawn laws were used to keep people with disabilities out of gated communities unless they could pay to have their lawns cared for. Oh, that sucks. Am I into wart cunning? What is wart cunning? What the fuck is that? I have reheated pizza. Yeah, I'm gonna need to dip and get some lunch soon. Although I'm like switching to a fairly restrictive part of my food stuff. I'm trying to keep it below like 1,400 calories a day. So I'm like hungry, but I'm gonna have to be careful to not eat too much. I only have like 800 calories left for the day because I already ate before stream. Plant local wildflowers, become a beekeeper. Wildflowers. I actually think that some lady in like Olathe is suing the state so that she can sell the products of the bees and stuff that she keeps at home. Like, for some reason, there's some Kansas ordinance that prevents you... Maybe it's because if you live in a city, you're not allowed to do that kind of work. 1,400 cal while you're working out. I'm not working out right this second. I'm gonna start bulking tomorrow, and the app that I have, I will tell it that I worked out, and then it will adjust. And then I will be allowed to eat more. But I didn't exercise today, so I'm only allowed to eat like 12 or 1,400 calories. I'm getting my lawn replaced by wildflowers naturally and slowly. I am too lazy to do it all at once. I'm just encouraging the wildflowers that come in naturally. Just let them take over. Slowly creeping. Reproducing. I'm trying to restore the patch of grass out front into a meadow, basically trying to remove as many nutrients as possible. Just put like some cardboard over it and starve it of sunlight. Anyway, do we have anything else that we want to cover before we call it for the day? There was one other like bad thing. It was something about a stabbing, maybe? Stabs? Do I want to talk about this? No, I don't want to talk about this. I've decided I don't want to talk about it today. A stabbing. Did we talk about rainbow bands? No. What was it? Was it in Florida? I think I retweeted something about it, but I didn't, like, read it. Yeah, only one other bad thing? Exactly, Rebecca. There are actually videos and books on wart gunning. Oh, I didn't know that there was a word for this. Dividing the garden into the elements. It's something that's done in plant alchemy. Oh, I had no idea. I just think that that video is going to be TOS. Like, or not TOS, but copyright. I think that that video is going to be copyright. Because it's like a nature documentary or what the fuck ever. Just like, I cannot play the video from Bitches Love Blue. Because it has fucking footage from a BBC documentary. You know what I mean? Something in Stream Rex. Yeah, I saw something in Stream Rex about the, I had a link pulled open for it, maybe. The rainbow thing. Rainbow ban. God, these fucking gnats are gonna drive me crazy. Okay, apparently I can't find anything in my own Discord server. So, that's cool. And I'm starting to get really pissed off at these gnats. I think I'm gonna go because I am getting annoyed and thirsty and I need to eat some food. Second most recent post. Yeah. Oh, wait, the Attorney General's thing? Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, we'll talk about it like Sunday or whatever. What day is today? Today's Sunday. We'll talk about it Tuesday. The anti-rainbow laws are in Indiana specifically. Okay, yeah, I'll have to, like, look at that later. But yes, for now, we must fuse Luxander, Samantha Lux, and Xander Hall into Samantha Luxander Hall, champion on trans rights. Truly. Watch what first? Watch what? Okay, hold on, let me get my headphones. Come back, headphones. Oh no. You rolling. Oh no. Once more. Uh-oh. Oh, poor baby. What adorable little chunguses. Adorable little fatties. We love them. Okay. I'm gonna go. And I will see you all on Tuesday. Yes. Be good and or don't get caught. As per usual. Okay?